We're on the air in 30 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
It's time for the PIAA Class 2A championship game between the Southern Columbia Tigers and the Farrell Steelers. Today's broadcast on the PIAA Radio Network is brought to you by Edgar Snyder and Associates, UPMC, and the NFHS Network. Let's send it out to Cumberland Valley High School's Chapman Field. With the call of the game, here's Bob McCool and Travis Sparks.
Set for the 2A state final of the Farrell Steelers, 12-2 on the season, and the Southern Columbia Tigers, 14-1. Alongside Travis Sparks, my name is Bob McCool, getting you set for this matchup, and this is small school football royalty in the state of Pennsylvania. The Steelers have won 4 titles. They're making their 16th appearance in the PIAA playoffs all time. They're 27-11, and then there is the Tigers of Southern Columbia. All they've done is win more titles than anybody. 14 titles have gone to Southern Columbia. Their 31st appearance in the PIAA playoffs, 66-16. Not only is they playing a state championship for looking for their 15th title, but this is also their 23rd appearance in the PIAA state championship game. But Travis, as you look at these two teams, the Farrell Steelers, the Southern Columbia Tigers, they both want to run the football, which is what you want to do to win football games in December in the state of Pennsylvania, but they go about it in a little bit different style. Farrell, coached by Anthony Pegues. Everybody knows him as Amp Pegues. He's in his 7th season at his alma mater. He was a quarterback for the Steelers in his day. Back in 1996, he beat a school by the name of Southern Columbia in a state championship in 1995, his senior year. But as a coach, 69-18, and he's got himself a prime player in the backfield. The bread and butter of what this offense is going to do is going to run through senior running back Jules Johnson.
You're going to hear the name Jules Johnson called constantly while the Farrell Steelers are on offense. Yeah, Eric Pegues can throw. He's got some good targets out there, but it's going to be, you're going to talk a lot of Jules Johnson behind his very good offensive line of Zayden Thomas, Levon Crumby, Noah Turner, Dravion Andrada, and Darnell LaCamera. I mean, that's going to be the offensive line is going to be the focus today against a very stout Southern Columbia team that loves to run the wing tee. They have a lot of people that they can shuffle in and out. I mean, looking at the Farrell Steelers during warm-up, they might have had 30 guys in uniform, maybe 30, 35, and yes, Southern outnumbers them, but those the small but mighty size of Farrell, they could surprise some people today.
Southern Columbia coach, of course, by the legendary Jim Roth. 41 seasons he has been in Catawissa with Southern Columbia. He had to be talked into the job, to take the job when he originally took the job, but he has certainly turned him into the ultimate small school staple in Pennsylvania high school football with those titles. 520 wins. That's more wins than anybody in the state of Pennsylvania. He's lost 74 games in 41 years. That gives you an idea. And there has actually been 2 ties along the way. But he has done it the same way for each and every one of those 41 years. It runs through the wing tee. And unlike Farrell, who's going to run it out of a spread with a one-back set, if you're going to run the wing tee and you want to run it well like Southern Columbia does, you're going to need more than one back. And for Southern Columbia, they do have more than one back. They have 2 1,000-yard backs. And if things go well today for Southern Columbia, they could have 3.
Joey Williams could join that 1,000-yard club. Grady Garcia already there. Braden Andrews already there. And Aiden Hockenbrock, a very good quarterback. He's going to distribute the ball very well. I mean, we're going to see a lot of the traditional wing tee play, like crossbucks, inside reverses. I'm going to give the over-under on inside reverses to about 5 today, just trying to distribute the ball out to several different guys. Back in the mid-'80s when Jim Roth took over, even go back to the early 80s. Southern Columbia, their history, let's go back to Twin Valley last night. They didn't have a very good history until Brett Myers took over. Southern Columbia was the same way. They were the doormat on everybody's schedule, but then the coach before him, Andy Ulickney, they had a very good winning season. I think they won Eastern Conference one year back in the mid-'80s, and then Jim Roth then begrudgingly took over, and boy, oh boy, has his trophy case been filled to the gills with not only state championships, but Coach of the Year accolades. He was even lucky enough to coach his son in the year, I believe it was 2002, when the long losing streak was over, and then the wonderful streak of victories for Southern Columbia started. So, yeah, it's different players, but same formula, and it's worked.
And ironically enough, they are back here this year after missing last year, which was the hiccup season along the way. They finished 7-5 last year. They lost in the District 4 championship game to Troy, who went on to successfully get here to the state championships. But right back here this year, and ironically enough, in this case, they beat Troy in the District 4 championship game. They beat him handily at 42-0. Farrell wins the District 10 championship with a shutout performance of their own, beating Mercyhurst Prep. The irony also for these two teams is that they didn't necessarily start the season well. Both started the season with a loss. Farrell losing their first game of the season to Hickory by a 13-12 score, and Southern Columbia losing to Wyomissing in the first game of the season, 42-29. So it did not necessarily start well, but they have the opportunity to reverse all that, and obviously they have reversed that to get here today.
The good thing about these two programs is they seek out tougher opponents. Southern Columbia meeting Wyomissing, a perennial power in District 3 in Berks County every year. Farrell, they sought out Hickory, a fellow District 10 team who's always done well in 3A, and they even went down to Steubenville, Ohio this year. They lost that game, but still kept it a game through all 4 quarters. So credit to both these programs. They seek out the tough opponents to get them ready for this stage.
And that is why they are on this stage right now. The coin toss going on the field as we see. And Farrell won the toss. They have deferred to the second half. So Southern Columbia will get the football to start this game, and we'll see that wing T offense on the field when we come back to Chapman Field. It is the PIAA 2A football championship. It's the Farrell Steelers, the Southern Columbia Tigers. We're going to have it for you live on the PIAA Radio Network when we come back after this.
What is life-changing medicine? The discovery of cancer at the earliest possible stage, challenging limits and transforming the impossible into reality, or connecting people to doctors and specialists when they need it most. At UPMC, we believe life-changing medicine is all those things. Our goal is to change the world of medicine and the lives of those around us. UPMC, changing healthcare, changing lives. Life-changing medicine.
Today's game is streaming on the NFHS Network. With the NFHS Network, you can watch live and on-demand high school sports on any device, wherever you are. Text your friends and family who aren't at the game and invite them to watch live now at nfhsnetwork.com or with the NFHS Network app for Apple and Android.
Thank you for over 40 years of trust. During those years, we've helped thousands of people just like you, our neighbors. We're here for you. We're here for our community. We're here for our region. The people that we worry about the most are the people who never hire an attorney. That's what the insurance company wants. When you do call us, you'll know that you have the firm with over 40 years of experience. And remember, there's never a fee unless we get money for you.
The Pennsylvania Association of Broadcasters and the PIAA promote the highest ideals of good sportsmanship in interscholastic athletics. Always remember to respect student athletes, coaches, contest officials, and game administration to help promote a safe and positive game environment. Together, we can foster a community of good sportsmanship.
You're listening to the PIAA Football Championships on the PIAA Radio Network.
Get a head start on your career in exciting fields like science, communications, engineering, and medicine, along with the tuition assistance in the Pennsylvania National Guard. Learn more about the Pennsylvania National Guard. Check out Join PA Guard on Facebook and Instagram, or go to nationalguard.com/PA. Alongside Travis Parks, my name is Bob McCool, PIAA Radio Network. We are live, and we're bringing you all the football games. We had a couple of very interesting games yesterday. Game at number 1 in Class A, Claret with a victory over Bishop Guilfoyle. Last night, Southern Lehigh outdoes Twin Valley in the 4A championship. Tonight, it'll be the 5A title as Bishop McDevitt and Roman Catholic go after one another. Tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock is the 3A title game. That's a rematch of last year overtime matchup between Avonworth and Northwestern Lehigh, and then we'll finish it off tomorrow night, 7 o'clock in the matchup of the big boys in Class 6A as Pittsburgh Central Catholic and LaSalle College Prep go toe-to-toe with one another. We'll have them all for you here on the PIAA Radio Network.
Weather not much of a factor today. It's cloudy, 26 degrees. There's not as much of a wind blowing as it was last night. The flagpoles, the flags on the top, not really moving a whole lot. Not calling for much precipitation. There's a couple snow flurries earlier today, but field's in great shape. There was snow here on Tuesday, but they got rid of that quick. And the field's been very good to everybody.
It is much less windy than it was last night, but it is cold. It is December, it is Pennsylvania, and it's high school football season. And if you want to get to this point in time, you got to be able to weather the elements, and there's been elements over the course of the postseason.
Oh, yes.
Most of it's been windy, but it's just cold today, and the temperatures in the mid-20s here in central Pennsylvania.
We've been lucky this season with weather, and thankfully it held off again for this weekend.
So Southern Columbia will receive the kickoff from Rashard Dunbar. And back deep, Grady Garcia, Braden Andrews will be part of that backfield combination in that wing T. And it's Andrews on the return across the 30-35 and out to still driving forward as the Piles are pushing each other backwards and forwards. And ultimately, they will spot Andrews down at the 38-yard line. That's where Southern Columbia and that wing T will go to work. But you do have to respect the fact that even though it is a wing T offense, their quarterback, Aiden Hockenbach, can throw the football. He's thrown, for over 1,200 yards on the season and 17 touchdowns. He is a kind of a dual threat quarterback, which you don't necessarily see in the wing T. But Hockenbach does bring that because Jim Roth will, and he talked about this a little bit with me before the game today, he will run with the football. And a lot of wing T quarterbacks do not run. As they'll put the man in motion is Garcia, and they will give it to Andrews. And on the first play, Braden Andrews will take it across the 40 to about a 42-yard line and a gain of 4 on first down for the Tigers.
Yeah, you're going to find a lot of that here early on and later on for Southern Columbia. They just like to run, just chew up clock. They're not going to go tempo. They're going to huddle up after every play. They'll bring a messenger in to give Hockenbach the play, and then he'll distribute it to his mates in the huddle, and then just do it over and over again.
Second down and 6 for the Tigers from the 42-yard line. Back split again, and it's Andrews following the fullback, Joey Williams, right up the gut and takes it across the 45 and close to a first down. Needs to get to the 48 to move the sticks. It looks like they're going to mark him down just shy of that. We'll call it third and make it officially a 1-yard pickup needed for the first down for the Southern Columbia Tigers.
Yeah, maybe 2 lengths of the football before he gets to the first down. Farrell going with looks like a 4-man line, maybe even a 3-man line here.
Southern Columbia come a little hurry up here. It's very unusual for the Tigers to run right up to the football, to the line of scrimmage, and snap the football in a counter handoff. It's Garcia. He gets outside, and he gets it into Farrell territory. It looked like he stepped out of bounds, but he didn't. Garcia is still running with a football and ends up inside the Steeler 40-yard line and bumped out of bounds close to the 35.
15-yard gain there, and a great job of stepping out of a tackle, of just being aware of where the sideline is, getting the right foot going the right way, the left foot going the right way, and then gets out of 3 more tackles and gets a first down.
I thought he was tackled, and I thought he was out of bounds, and then none of that happened. He was still running, as Travis said, for a 15-yard gain. First down and 10 now for Southern Columbia at the Steeler 38-yard line. Here's Williams, the fullback, bounces off of 1 tackle and fights his way all the way down to the 32-yard line. Tough running for the junior fullback, Joey Williams.
Yeah, yards after first contact is a big thing for Southern Columbia. Omario Boatwright had him wrapped up, but Williams just stepped right out of that tackle and got 5 yards.
So we've now seen all 3 elements of the wing T. We've seen the halfback in Andrews. We've seen the fullback now in Williams, and we've seen the speed of Garcia on the sweep off the S side. Here comes the buck reverse, and Garcia's got an edge. He's got a blocker. He's got the 20, cuts back 10, 5, touchdown Southern Columbia. Grady Garcia takes it from 32 yards out, gets blocking downfield. A great block thrown downfield by his quarterback, Aiden Hockenbrock, to help spring him for the touchdown.
32 yards, and I was wondering how soon they would go to that reverse inside give, the crossbuck action. It went 5 plays. So you knew they were going to use it sometime, and the best part about that was Hockenbrock was out leading all the blocks, and he threw a good one and sprung Garcia free for the touchdown.
On for the extra point attempt comes Preston Shadle, the senior kicker. Holder is Blaze Kissinger. Snap good, hold down, and the kick did not get there. He kind of pushed it a little bit to the right, didn't really get much on it. And the kicker, Shadle, comes away limping a little bit. So not quite sure what happened on that extra point attempt. But the Tigers are denied the 1, but they get the 6. 9:56 left to go in period number 1. Southern Columbia, with their first possession, puts it in the end zone. When we get back, Farrell will get the football for the first time. The Tigers lead at 6-0.
Is college in your future? The Pennsylvania Higher Education Assistance Agency helps PA students and families navigate all things college, such as scholarships, grants, and loans. For more information on ways to plan and pay for college, visit PHEAA.org. That's PHEAA.org.
You're listening to the PIAA Football Championships on the PIAA Radio Network.
Today's game is brought to you in part by UPMC, life-changing medicine. So a very solid drive for Southern Columbia. 5 plays, 62 yards, with Garcia going in for the touchdown. And for the sophomore, Grady Garcia, the third in the pedigree of Garcia brothers who have played for Jim Roth in Southern Columbia, his 18th rushing touchdown of the season. So now back deep for Farrell. See if they have Jules Johnson back there. They have occasionally used him back there, not right back there right now. This will be Jaden King-Vincent, also a dangerous return man, breaks a tackle, 25-30, 35-40. He is free and clear at the 50, and nobody's going to run him down now. On the opening kickoff for the Farrell Steelers, they will take it to the house. Jaden King-Vincent takes it 92 yards, touchdown that quickly. The Tigers have evened the score.
90-yard kickoff return.
You can tell we're on the Southern Columbia side because they are quiet, and you could just see that develop. It took about 2 bounces before King Vincent picked it up right about the 8-yard line, waited for his blockers along the sideline, then cut it up the middle, scored, and we've got a tie ball game already.
And the Steelers will more often than not go for 2, and that's what they're going to do here. And now looking to take the lead, which will officially really be, although it doesn't count as one, their first actual snap from center.
Wildcat.
And it will be Jules Johnson who will get the snap from the Wildcat. And he will take it off the left edge, tries to cut it up off of tackle, and Southern Columbia does not stuff it. They're going to say he is in the end zone. The 2-point conversion is good, and so the Farrell Steelers will take the lead. Again, the kickoff return for a touchdown, 92 yards. Jaden King-Vincent. I mentioned, Travis, just before that they have started to use a little bit more of Jules Johnson as a kick returner because he's obviously a tremendous player, but at the same time, you also want to preserve him a little bit during the season. So a lot of times, hey, it's the postseason now. Everybody's on board. But you have obviously other guys who can make something happen. And Southern Columbia just found that out as Jaden King-Vincent does the work instead.
All hands on deck. When you get to this part of the season, if you can do the job, great, because you're banged up. You're 15, 16 games into the season. I mean, there's nobody here that's 100% healthy. And if they are, they haven't played a whole lot this year. So wherever you can be used, you're going to get used, and you're going to get us a PIAA gold.
Rashad Dunbar will be kicking off.
I just found out that is, we're just talking about the kickoff return ability in the postseason. Jaden King-Vincent, 3 kickoff returns for a touchdown. So, again, great blocking got him started, and then once he got the seal and cut it back up the middle of the field, he was gone. So that quickly, it changes back, and Southern Columbia's going to put their offense back out on the field. And again, Gage Garcia, Braden Andrews will be the 2 return men for Southern Columbia. And it's going to be a short kick, and it's going to be Williams who takes it at about the 32, 33-yard line. And Joey Williams is across the 40. A flag goes down as he goes down at about the 44-yard line. So we'll see what the flag is about on the kickoff return.
6, Timmy Jackson on the return.
Our officials in this game, Craig Mosser is our referee, umpire Michael Atia. Head linesman is Michael Angelstein. The line judge is Lee Williams. Field judge is John Cesari. The side judge, Jason Hartramp, and the back judge is George Geiser. They are out of District 11. And we are about to get the call from Craig Mosser, our referee. And the Southern Columbia Tigers are backing up. It's a 10-yard penalty against Southern Columbia. So they will start right at the 30 on what is now their second offensive series. So the offense didn't get much of a breather on the sideline off the kickoff return. Right back to work goes Southern Columbia's wing T offense.
Yeah, the 2 men in the backfield with Hockenbrock, and then they're only going to have one receiver this time around.
Garcia is on a wing on the right. And to give his to Braden Andrews. Andrews following right up the gut, just the way they started the first drive, and he'll take it across the 35 and out very close to a first down. So they're going to spot him down to 38, so a solid 8 yards on first down for Andrews.
It's not exactly tempo like we saw last night from Twin Valley, but it's more like you get up to the line, give one signal, and then snap the ball. It's like, we'll go back to the 70s when Kenny Stabler would get up to the line and just snap it right there. This is how Hockenbrock is going to operate today.
He is under center. He's going to give it to Williams. The fullback stiff arms his way out of a tackle, but not 2 tackles. And guess who comes up to make the tackle? Jules Johnson, coming up from his safety position, will get to Joey Williams in the backfield, drop it for a loss back at the 37. A loss of 1 puts Southern Columbia in a 3rd and 3.
I was going to comment when they got on offense that you're going to see the jersey number of number 3 like you saw. You had the local call of the Twin Valley Southern Lehigh game last night. You saw Steckert, who was getting the ball 39, 40 times. And, it's going to be the same way with Jules Johnson here, but he made his first play on defense.
3rd and 3 from the 37 for Southern Columbia. Now they go with the 2 wings, and here comes Garcia, and the handoff back to Andrews with a blocker aside of him. Braden Andrews will take it on their reverse for a first down across the 40 to the 41. Needed 3, got 4.
I kept my eye on Johnson that time, and he knew to stay home because he knew that the inside reverse was coming. He just hung around there and just saw the ball action was coming to him. Had about 3 other Farrell guys right there, but 3 Southern Columbia guys blocking, and it was a first down just barely.
Well, even though Jules Johnson is on the verge of becoming the all-time leading rusher in Farrell history, he is headed to the University of Nebraska, and Nebraska wants him as a safety. So it's on the defense. He's going to make the next level. Williams gets the handoff, and he is drilled before he can even get going. Rashard Dunbar off the edge from that defensive end spot, nails him before he can get to the line of scrimmage.
Dunbar led the team in sacks this year, and you can add another tackle for loss to that mark, and that was a stick.
Williams.
And that was the fullback who got popped. Joey Williams loses 2, back to the 39, puts the Southern Columbia Tigers in a 2nd and 12. It's one of the things that Anthony Peggy said he wanted to do is force Southern Columbia into passing situations. They're not quite there yet, but if they can't get much here, that might change. That's exactly where Farrell was hoping to put Southern Columbia. Andrews goes in motion, and Hockenbrock's going to keep it himself on a quarterback bootleg. Stay arms have a tackle, 50, 45, and Hockenbrock will get slipped down and knocked down around the Farrell 40-yard line. We told you he is a running version in this wing tee as a quarterback, and he does it there.
Beautiful run. It was the fake to that inside reverse because Andrews was going to the right side of the offensive line, but then Hockenbrock takes it himself, was able to bypass one Farrell Steeler, and then kept going, had 2 blockers in front of him, 21-yard gain in the first down.
His 57th carry of the season puts the Southern Columbia Tigers back in Farrell territory at the 40. Here's Williams. This time the fullback will get a couple before he's pushed backwards, and doing a lot of that pushing was Carleo Lowe, or the other defensive end on the opposite side of Dunbar, and they'll give his forward progress Williams with a tough 2-yard gain, maybe 3. You're going to spot him down at the 37-yard line, make it 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, good job by Carlisle Lowe, who you got to square up against these Southern Columbia Tigers. That's the only way you're going to bring them down.
Tigers quickly back to the line of scrimmage, and here's the handoff to Andrews. Coming off the right edge, Braden Andrews will take it inside the 35 to the 34. He gets 3 more, puts Southern Columbia in a 3rd down and 4.
I'm going to call it Southern Columbia's version of tempo because I think they want to just wear down Farrell. I mean, they're not very big in numbers. I mean, size-wise, they match up well. But, they just want to get them tired and keep, they love, we're going to see probably a 15-play drive somewhere along the line here for Southern just to keep the ball in their possession and just keep that defense on the field.
And that's what McGee said. We can't let them have their 10, 12-play drives. That's what they want to do, and that's what we can't let them do. Here's Andrews trying to extend that series if he can pick up the first down, but he's going to be short. Going to come up a yard short, and now it's 4th down and 1 for Southern Columbia, but they are at the 31-yard line. No doubt this is 4-down territory for Southern Columbia. 3 more yards on the 6th carry of the afternoon for Braden Andrews. 5 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the first quarter. 8-6 is our score. Farrell on top, even though the Steelers have yet to run an offensive play. On the kickoff return, that's the difference right now on the scoreboard. Southern Columbia 4th and 1 from the 31. And is Hockenbach going to keep it himself, just like that play he ran for a first down? He's going to run for another one, this one to the 25-yard line. Another first down for Southern Columbia.
A basic principle of the wing tee is misdirection. If you're on defense, you got to find the ball and get to the guy. Well, finding the ball is going to take about 2-3 seconds, especially when you've got Hockenbach as that 4th threat from the backfield. So another 6 yards and a first down.
Jim Roth talking about one of his contemporaries, George Curry, used to say that when the quarterback is running with the football, you just have that extra blocker. And this time up the gut goes Garcia, and he's going to kick it out. And Grady Garcia is going to have his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. Saw an opening up the middle, then kicked it outside. Touchdown, Southern Columbia.
I watched Hockenbach after the handoff, and he faked like he was going to the outside. He took one of the Farrell Steelers, Timmy Jackson, with him, and that opened the door wide open for Garcia.
So Grady Garcia with a 2nd touchdown. First one was 32, this one 25. And as a result of it, Southern Columbia is right back up on top. And it looks like Southern Columbia is going to have to go for 2 here. Now, we said that the kicker looked like he was shaken up a little bit, but now after missing that extra point, may just be trying to get this to a 14-point difference. But they're going to go with that triple backfield, a power I in the back, the T formation in the backfield. Hockenbach is going to cake it himself on that bootleg, and he'll run it in for a 2-point conversion. So Southern Columbia comes back, puts together another drive, and the Tigers retake the lead. 4:21 left to go in quarter number 1, where we come back to Mechanicsburg. Southern Columbia now 14, Farrell 8. You're listening to high school football on the PIAA Radio Network.
On behalf of the PIAA, we'd like to thank our friends at First Citizens Community Bank, a local community bank who have been building better communities for over 150 years throughout Pennsylvania. To learn more about FCCB and what they can do for you, visit myfccb.com or find them on Facebook.
Today's game is streaming live on the NFHS Network. With the NFHS Network, you can watch live and on-demand high school sports on any device, wherever you are. You can relive all the incredible moments from today's matchup on demand at nfhsnetwork.com or with the NFHS Network app for Apple and Android.
Attention fans, get your next game day ticket using Hometown. As the official online ticketing partner of the PIAA, Hometown gives you a simple and secure way to search, buy, and scan your ticket right from your phone. Download the Hometown Fan app from your mobile app store today.
What is life-changing medicine? Is it returning to the playing field or your favorite hiking path after an injury? Or running with your grandkids after a joint replacement? At UPMC, life-changing medicine is all those things. Through innovative research, rehabilitation, and advanced surgical procedures, our experts get you back to what you love doing. UPMC, changing healthcare, changing lives. Life-changing medicine.
Timmy Jackson, and as we found out early on, the very dangerous Jaden King Vincent back there to return, and they will kick it in the direction of King Vincent. Here he goes from the 20 to the 30, And this time, Southern Columbia will bottom up. After his last kickoff return, which goes, as we said, 92 yards. It's the longest kickoff return in a 2A title game and the 5th longest all time in kickoff returns for a touchdown in PIAA football history. So 4 minutes and 15 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Farrell is about to run its first offensive play here. They'll start from their own 37-yard line.
Yeah, Southern Columbia, in contrast, has run 15, and first touchdown drive was 5, second touchdown drive was 10. And here comes Jules Johnson. And you get to see another number 3 jersey ingrained in your brain for the rest of the day here.
2,287 yards on the season coming in. And they'll put Strong Vincent, they'll put a man in motion in King Vincent, and they will hand it off to Johnson, but nothing doing as Southern Columbia's defense will stack him up. John Quint, first one to make contact, and he actually loses yardage back to his own 34-yard line, a loss of 3 on the play.
You mentioned that Amp Pegues was talking about putting Southern Columbia in passing situations. I think the recipe is going to be the same for Southern Columbia. Just get Farrell into a passing situation and make Pegues throw the ball.
Aaron Pegues, Amp Pegues' junior son, is the quarterback for the Farrell Steelers. 6'1", 190-pound junior. Already has an offer from Akron. As we said, Jules Johnson, the Nebraska commit, as the back in the backfield. And Pegues wants to throw for it here. Looking to go deep, looking for a man. He's got a man deep. It's Dorian Kane, and he makes the catch inside the 30 down to the 27-yard line. And the Steelers flip the field. A big first down hookup to Dorian Kane.
38 yards on the pass play, and it was in double coverage. But Dorian Kane, one of the leading receivers for Farrell, just looked the ball in. It was an over-the-shoulder catch, and a great job hauling it in and getting the first down.
At the Southern Columbia 27-yard line. 3 minutes, 10 seconds remaining now in period number 1. Southern Columbia 14, Farrell 8, Steelers in Tiger territory.
52. Darnell Montgomery.
Pegues will keep it himself this time. On the read option, Pegues will take it inside the 25 to the 24 and a gain of 3.
Good job of decoy there by Johnson. It was an RPO, and Pegues decided just to keep it and go right up the middle.
5'11", 252 across the front 5 for the Steelers. Noah Turner is the center. LeBron Crumby and Dravian Andrada are the guards. Zayden Thomas, Darnell LaCamera are the tackles. They're good with a spread set here. 1 receiver to the right and 3 to the left for Pegues on 2nd and 7, and movement up front before the snap of the football. And this is going to be against the Steelers. First penalty of the game against Farrell will back them up 5. Jamari Jones, Timmy Jackson, Jaden King Vincent, Dorian Kane, all a part of the receiving mix. Damar Kane is out there as well. The Kanes, the twin brothers for the Steelers. Both will see time at the receiver spot. Both are starters on the defensive side. Steelers now backed up to a 2nd and 12 back at their 29-yard line. Again, 3 receivers to the right side, including King Vincent and the Kane twins, and split out on the left is Jamari Jones. Pegues looking in direction of Jones. Now he's looking for Johnson out of the backfield. It's a jump ball, and it's incomplete. Good coverage downfield by Southern Columbia. Right there defensively, Southern Columbia had a man there and breaking it up, as they want a little wheel route for Johnson out of the backfield, and it's incomplete pass.
K.S. Morrow, the senior defensive back there, had good coverage, was looking at the ball the entire time. So there was no question if there was going to be pass interference or not.
So the Steelers now in a 3rd and 12 at the 29-yard line. Same look, 3 receivers to the right and 1 in Jamari Jones split out to the left. Pegues again wants to throw for it. Looking again for Johnson, but he's not going to have time, and the ball comes loose. The ball is on the ground, and it looks like Southern Columbia will get it back. No, they're going to say that the Farrell Steelers recovered it. Southern Columbia tried for the scoop and score, and now they are going to say it is Tiger football.
I was confused at first. I saw the 2 guys from Southern Columbia try and converge, and the ball came loose again. It looked like one of the Steeler offensive linemen had come back to get it, but not this time. And the first turnover goes to Southern Columbia.
So they got to Pegues, and they knocked the football loose, and the Southern Columbia defense recovers with 1:45 left to go in quarter number one. Southern Columbia leads at 14-8. The Tigers offense back out on the field starting from at 46. Here's Andrews trying to go around right side. Nothing there. He'll get stuffed and pushed backwards. Forward progress gives him a yard to the 47.
Yeah, good job by Boatwright. Also low to get in on the tackle. They went as quick as Southern usually does once they get up to the line of scrimmage, and just tried something off the right side and just got stuffed.
Front five for the Tigers. Aiden McHale, junior center. The guards, seniors, and John Quinton on the right side, Greg Fulmer on the left, Jade Carter, junior, left offensive tackle, or left offensive tackle, excuse me, Braylon Smith, the sophomore right tackle. Jace Malakowski, a really tough, hard-nosed football player, is the tight end. On a 2nd down and 9. Play action fake, and here's Hagenbach, who's going to keep it himself again on that bootleg, and he's inside Farrell territory as he gets cut down at about the 42-yard line, but he will again move the sticks. Tough tackle by Omari Boatwright, but Hagenbach bounces right back up.
Yeah, Devontae Gillespie was one step right behind Hagenbach, just trying to chase him down, but Hagenbach has very good speed to the outside, and he got to the 42.
Started to talk about it, that Jim Roth talking about before the game, that with George Curry, the legendary coach at Berwick, he said his line was that with the quarterback running, it's like you have 12 men on the field, which he said, I'm not sure where George came up with that math, but the point is that you have an extra blocker out there. Here is Andrews going around the right side. A little bit of confusion for Farrell because they got to be thinking about Hagenbach right now because they've gotten burned by that bootleg, but this time Andrews takes it inside the 40 and down to the 37.
The academy on line 1 for the acting job that Hagenbach is doing, because even after he hands off, he's faking like he's going to throw. He's got his hands clasped right in front of him like he's got a football ready to throw and look downfield. And he's doing a great job, and Southern has the lead going into the second.
We will have the second quarter when we get back. After one here in the PIAA 2A championship, it's the Southern Columbia Tigers 14, the Farrell Steelers 8. Back with more high school football on the PIAA Radio Network after this.
Is the preferred protein of the PIAA.
And Associates. Their competition isn't other law firms. It's the insurance companies. If you've been hurt in an accident, watch out. Insurance companies will short sell you. They will deny your claim. They will do anything they can to avoid paying you. With over 40 years of experience, Edgar Snyder and Associates has seen every trick in the book. They'll fight the insurance company every day to get you the money you deserve. They're available 24/7, so contact them now at 1-800-94-EDGAR. And remember, there's never a fee unless they get money for you.
Are you having trouble saving to buy a home? The Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency offers down payment and closing cost assistance. Learn more at phfa.org or just Google PHFA and find out how you can buy a new home. Transform your field with Digital Scoreboard's massive outdoor LED displays. Designed to handle any weather, they deliver bold visuals for scores, replays, and sponsor ads. Visit digitalscoreboards.net to get started.
You're listening to the PIAA Football Championships on the PIAA Radio Network.
Welcome back as we get set to start quarter number 2 alongside Travis Sparks. My name is Bob McCool. The Farrell Steelers on defense. The Southern Columbia Tigers with a 14-8 lead on the Steelers, and they have it in Farrell territory. Here's Joey Williams, the fullback, fighting his way through. Tried to spin out of a tackle, but the whistle blew dead at the 34-yard line. Williams thought he still was able to keep running, but the officials said no. He was down at the 34, so a gain of 3 puts Southern Columbia in a 3rd and 2.
Substitutions constant for Southern Columbia. Nathan Gallagher coming in as a split end. He's replacing Elijah Starr, and these skill players will continue to rotate all game long for Southern.
So this drive continues, and we still haven't called Grady Garcia's name yet. All he's done is score the touchdowns as they go back to Andrews trying to fight for that first down, and Farrell says not so quickly as the Steelers defense tries to clamp down on him, and I don't know that Andrews got enough to get the first down.
He had to get just beyond the 32, and both lines judges are looking really close. We might have our first measurement.
And that's exactly what we're going to get. Gives us a chance to run through the entire Farrell defense. It's been so good throughout the season. Rashad Dunbar and Carleo Lowe both have made an impact in this game. They're the two defensive ends. Zayden Thomas, Lavon Crumby are the tackles. The linebackers are outstanding. Jason Marshall, Devontae Gillespie are the outside backers with Omari Boatwright in the middle. And the corners, Jamari Jones and Damar Kane. The safeties, Jules Johnson and Dorian Kane. They are literally inches. So officially it will be in the books as 4th and 1, but it's more like 4th and about 3 or 4 inches for Southern Columbia to pick up the first down.
This will be the 20th offensive play. They've only lost yardage on 1 so far, so odds are pretty good whichever way Southern Columbia runs. So they should get a first down here. So Farrell needs to bulk up front.
Speaking of bulk, they just brought Chase Williams in as an extra blocker. A 6'4 junior is a defensive end. They bring him in as an extra blocker up front. And it's Williams who's going to get the call. Williams slips out of 1 tackle, will not go down easily, but the pursuit of Farrell is going to wrap him up, but his forward progress was enough to move the chains. They will spot Williams' forward progress at the 31. He got more than he needed. Not much more, but he got the first down.
Yeah, the forward progress was stopped. It was smart by Williams not to try and pursue any more yardage right after that, because the referees will mark right when they get to the first down, the furthest across forward progress. And that's what happened that play, first down at the 31.
So with the pickup, Chase Williams comes out, you expect, but Joey Williams also, the fullback, also came out. So maybe a little bit of a different look here for Southern Columbia. It's like Talon Piet is in as the fullback. And here on the reverse comes Andrews. Braden Andrews trying to turn the corner, won't get much as he's tracked down by Dorian Kane. Gain of a couple to the 26-yard line. Actually got more than I thought. He got to a 5-yard pickup at 2nd down and 5 on the sweep for Andrews.
Yeah, good job of Farrell by staying home between the Kane brothers and hanging around at home where you should. Lowe also there at the left defensive end, part of the stop.
Travis mentioned the constant shuffling of players, including the split end position. Blaze Kissinger and Nate Gallagher rotating the plays in with each other, so they alternate plays. And here is Garcia getting the call, first time in his drive, and this time running the tough yards. Garcia more of the speed back, but this time he fights his way through heavy traffic and backs his way inside the 20 and gets another first down for Southern Columbia.
Yeah, they keep just racking up yards here and just doing a good job of keeping the legs going. That's most important here. So, when you're a running back, your motor's got to be going all the time. Those legs have to be strong and getting out of tackles, and another good gain for Southern.
This is the worst nightmare for Farrell coach Ampagis. These long, sustained, ball-controlling drives for Southern Columbia. About to take the snap on their 9th play of this drive. And Williams back in there. The fullback will take the call, and he'll fight his way to about the 16-yard line, not quite to the 15, so a gain of 3. Williams getting the tough yards, obviously, between the tackles, as you would expect on the fullback dive.
Yeah, here's the drive so far for Southern. 1, 19, 5, 3, 2, 1, 5, 7, 3. They're just Farrell's just having a tough time just trying to keep everybody in front of them to bring him down, and it takes a long time just to bring him down.
Nate Gallagher split out as the split end on the outside on the left. Garcia on more of a wing on the right. There's a blocker here. Andrews has a hole, but it's cut down quickly. Jules Johnson comes up and cuts him down at the 11, but it's still a 5-yard pickup for Andrews to put the Southern Columbia Tigers in a 3rd and 2.
Yeah, they mark it about 11 and a half. They got to get to the 9, and that's probably what Ampagis is telling all his guys right now. Stay home, stay home. They're gonna come to you.
That may have been a touchdown-saving tackle for Jules Johnson, as if he doesn't get him, I think Andrews scores. Instead, it's 3rd and 2 from the 11-yard line. And Hockenbrock will keep it himself, trying to get the edge, and he won't get the edge. Boatwright got him. Hockenbrock's knee didn't hit the ground, and he fights his way back up, and he's going to be close to another first down. See where they spot this. They got to get to the 9 to get the first down, and they're going to say he got there. What a great effort by Hockenbrock after Boatwright cut his legs out from under him. He put the hand on the ground, kept himself a active runner, and takes it to a 1st and goal at the 9-yard line.
Excellent job. Just he had to have his right hand down on the ground and kind of plank just to be in order to get to get past the 10-yard line, knowing where the yard marker was and the first down marker. He got it. It's 1st and goal.
7:25 left to go in the second quarter. Southern Columbia started this drive with 1:45 left in the first. Here on the reverse, it's it's Andrews trying to fight his way inside the 5. He won't get there. They're going to stop him just on the other side of the 5-yard line. Makes it 2nd down and goal.
Just keep running up the middle. It is such a tight line here. They didn't have anybody split out. They had 9 guys on the line of scrimmage. Quarterback Hockenbrock and whoever they decide the running back is going to be, halfback, fullback, whatever you want to say. And here comes another personnel change as 43 out for Southern Columbia. That's Chase Williams, and 10, Blaze Kissinger comes in.
Andrews is carried it 12 times. The fullback Williams 7, a quarterback 4, and Garcia 4 as well. Garcia's 2 of his went in the end zone. Trying to do it again, but he's not going to get outside this time. And a flag comes down as well as he's tripped up and pushed backwards. Deontay Gillespie out there to help push Garcia backwards, and then we'll see what the flag's all about.
That came from the end zone, from the back judge. So we'll see what the flag was dropped at the 5. Face mask, perhaps, or could be a hold on Southern. If it's a defensive penalty, it'll be half the distance.
Again, a little bit of a conference here with the officials to exactly where it was and what it was. The original line of scrimmage was the 5, and Garcia was pushed backwards to the 6 and maybe even the 7, depending on where that ball was spotted. I think that's a part of it. Where was the ball spotted down? I think the preliminary indication is a hold against Southern Columbia. That's what they're.
Holding.
Yep, that's the call.
10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
So it's a hold against Southern Columbia. 2nd penalty of the game against the Tigers.
Called it on Andrews, yeah.
So that pushes them back to the 15-yard line. It'll now be 2nd and goal from that spot.
Southern has not thrown today. Could be a good spot for it.
Penalty moves the ball back.
And we'll bring Gallagher in now. As we said, Gallagher and Kissinger kind of rotating in and out, running the plays in and out. So 2nd and goal at the 15-yard line now for Southern Columbia as they sprint to the line of scrimmage. Williams alone back in the backfield. Andrews goes in motion and play action fake. And Hockenbrock does want to throw it. He's going to run out of time. He's going to try to run out of the pocket. He will not get away as Richard Dunbar will drop him for a loss back to the 19-yard line.
Just a good coverage by Farrell. Only 2 receivers going out in the pattern, and they kept the other 9 guys in the box, and Hockenbrock just ran out of time.
Loss of 4 on the play. Southern Columbia now pushed back to the 19-yard line. So they had it 2nd and goal at the 5. They're now in a 3rd and goal back at the 19-yard line.
We've seen timeouts taking at unusual spots, that more unusual than normal. I wouldn't be surprised maybe to see a timeout here. There's 10 seconds on the play clock.
5:30 left on the game clock as Southern Columbia has monopolized the football here in period number 2. 3rd and goal from the 19. Garcia goes in motion right side to left. Hockenbrock play action fake. Steps up in the pocket. He's going to step up and run. He's got a scap. 10, 5, gets popped at about the 3-yard line. Coming up to make the pop was the sophomore linebacker Jason Marshall, and it'll be at the 4-yard line. It's going to be 4th down and goal.
Had the time, but just didn't have the open receiver, and decided to take off at the right time and just went right up the middle. Even though he had somebody pursuing him, he just said, I'm not going to outrun this guy to the side. I'm just going to go straight ahead and get as much yardage as I can.
Line of scrimmage is the 4, 4th and 4. They're going to not take the field goal here. Instead, they're going to go for it on 4th and goal from the 4-yard line. You're looking at about a 21-yard field goal. Garcia goes in motion. And it's going to be Andrews on the reverse, and Andrews will follow his blockers into the end zone. Touchdown, Southern Columbia.
Go with your bread and butter. That's been your bread and butter play that has worked so much, and a great job. Just another awesome job of blocking. The play takes about 4 seconds, 3-4 seconds to develop in the backfield, but then by the time it does develop, the blocking is so far downfield that it just wide open there, and a touchdown, and they're considering going for 2 again.
I think their kicker is hurt. I think that's part of it. Again, Preston Shadle, their kicker, came off the field limping after the first extra point was no good. So I'm thinking that might be part of it, because in all honesty, I was a little surprised that they didn't opt to kick the field goal there and go for the touchdown instead. Obviously, it paid off, but now the fact that they're going for 2 here makes you think that maybe that's the case. Garcia and Williams split the backfield. Hagerbach wants to throw for the 2. He's looking for the back of the end zone for his tight end. All kinds of bodies around Jace Malikoski. Did he hold on the football? He did. But there are flags on the play. We'll see what this is all about. Jace Malikoski in a crowd pulls down the 2-point conversion. So the officials will talk this through, and it's either going to be very simple that if it's against Farrell, the 2-point conversion will stand, and based on the fact that the Southern Columbia players are celebrating, we can already assume that's the case. So the 2-point conversion is good. 4 minutes, 31 seconds remaining in the first half. Southern Columbia adds to its lead, and the 2-point conversion, it's now the Tigers 22, the Farrell Steelers 8 when we come back to Mechanicsburg after this.
Cornerstone Business Graphics is proud to be a preferred vendor of the PIAA and offer custom wearables, promotional items, signage, banners, and so much more. Cornerstone is also home to MarketLogo.com, your source for online school store needs. School stores are a great way to raise funds and promote school spirit. Cornerstone is your one stop for all your school's promotional gear. Check us out at cbizgraphics.com. It's Cornerstone Business Graphics.
What is life-changing medicine? The discovery of cancer at the earliest possible stage, challenging limits and transforming the impossible into reality, or connecting people to doctors and specialists when they need it most. At UPMC, we believe life-changing medicine is all those things. Our goal is to change the world of medicine and the lives of those around us. UPMC, changing healthcare, changing lives. Life-changing medicine.
You're listening to the PIAA Football Championships on the PIAA Radio Network.
The 14-time state champion Southern Columbia Tigers on top of Farrell 22-8. If you're a fan of time of possession, well, I would take Southern Columbia at the over. Total plays run to this point in time, Southern Columbia 30. Farrell just 5 plays. The Tigers with that kickoff return by Jaden King-Vincent, the only points that they've been able to muster because they simply have not been able to keep their offense on the field.
They fumbled away on their one possession that was only 5 plays, and you talk about churning out time. That drive started with 1:45 left to go in the second quarter. I think you were still doing the morning show on Thursday when that drive started. That was impressive. Jeez, that's classic Southern football.
15-play drive and 9 minutes and 14 seconds, and then you realize for all of that, it was 54 yards. It wasn't like it was an 85-yard drive. It was a 54-yard drive. As Travis said, it was a byproduct of that fumble by Farrell. So still obviously time for the Steelers with 4:31 left to go in half number 1. But this game is not going the way Amp Pegues and the Farrell Steelers were hoping it would. And it goes through the wickets of Jaden King-Vincent and back and into the end zone. Fortunately for Farrell, and just barely into the end zone.
The referee signaled start the clock because he had touched it, but because it goes automatically into the end zone. And James, go ahead and tell me the truth here.
That is properly done. The ball, even though the ball was never possessed, touched, yes, never possessed. So the clock runs. That is correct. In a college game, no, that's still live. But in the high school game, if the ball crosses the plane, even if it was touched like it was there, yes, that is still a touchback ruling and properly done.
So the Steelers will get the football on the touchback at the 20. So Amp Pegues sends his offense back out there, led by his junior quarterback, his son Aaron Pegues, again, who fumbled on the last snap that Farrell ran from scrimmage. See if we don't get a steady dive to Jules Johnson to see if he can get him on track. And that's who's got the football. He'll take it for a couple of tough yards to about the 23. And Jules Johnson on his first forward progress. He lost 3 on his first carry, gains 3 back here.
Yeah, who would have thought at this point of the game, 4 minutes left to go in the first half, we'd say Jules Johnson, 0 yards.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out beforehand how many yards exactly he needed to become the all-time leading rusher. Anthony Stallworth, the all-time leading rusher in Farrell Steeler history. And Jules Johnson needs 121 today to break that, to get to that record. He's got 2 carries now for a net 0 yards.
9 on the play clock here. They're still looking to the sideline for a play.
3 receivers bunched to the near side for Farrell, and this is going to result in a timeout called by the Steelers.
Not surprised.
Clear confusion on the part of Farrell. So the Steelers will call a timeout. We'll take a break along with them. With 3:43 left to go in the first half, Farrell has the football. We come back. Southern Columbia has the lead at 22-8.
Thank you for over 40 years of trust. During those years, we've helped thousands of people just like you, our neighbors. We're here for you. We're here for our community. We're here for our region. The people that we worry about the most are the people who never hire an attorney. That's what the insurance company wants. When you do call us, you'll know that you have the firm with over 40 years of experience. And remember, there's never a fee unless we get money for you.
If you think you can make the calls, become a PIAA official. Make some extra cash, stay in shape, and enjoy interscholastic sports, all while making a difference in your community. Head to PIAA.org for more information.
You're listening to the PIAA Football Championships on the PIAA Radio Network.
2nd down and 7 for the Steelers after the timeout. Pegues wants to throw it, setting up a little flanker screen for Jamari Jones. Southern Columbia's got a lot of bodies over there, and Jones cannot get away. Gets it back maybe to the line of scrimmage, and maybe not. Looks like they lost a yard.
I count 3 black jerseys over there wearing Southern Columbia gold and black. Just a great job. Blaze Kissinger there on the tackle, squared up, made the tackle, and, caused a loss.
Jones, the leading receiver for Farrell, his 33rd catch of the season, but it goes backwards for a yard. So the Steelers now in a 3rd and 8. One thing they don't want to do here is give the ball back right now to Southern Columbia with time on the clock and 3 timeouts left. The Steelers looking for some kind of a spark on 3rd and 8 from their own 22. Pegues wants to throw for it across the middle. Now looking to the sidelines. Pass is caught. It's Dorian Kane who makes the catch and fights his way for a first down. A flag goes in as Kane goes down at about the 35 or 36 yard line. Let's see where this comes in.
Flag was here on the near side. We'll see which way they're looking here and who they talk to as far as enforcing the penalty.
Steelers are already walking backwards.
They're going to get an eligible man downfield. They didn't throw the flag until the pass was thrown. No linemen were downfield, so my guess is that they had a wide receiver on the near side as an eligible receiver who was covered up by an outside receiver.
So that's going to back the Steelers up, takes the first down off the board, obviously, and back them up to the 16-yard line. And it'll remain 3rd down now for Farrell. But the Steelers are in a world of hurt right now, trying to move the sticks as we're inside of 3 minutes left to go, and they are backed up into their own territory.
Yeah, backed up and now needing 14 yards to get a first down. And where they're going to keep Jules Johnson lined up in the backfield, but he's been primarily a decoy and a blocking back because they need so much yardage.
2 receivers each way for Pegues. Straight drop across the middle. He's in trouble. He works his way out of that trouble. Now just heaves it up in the air and almost intercepted, but it's ultimately incomplete. Anthony Martino was there almost to come up with the pick as Pegues was in trouble, chased back towards the end zone and just had to throw it away.
Chase Williams among those who were in on the attempted safety here. Pegues was backed up into the end zone and he just threw it away trying to find a receiver. He had a receiver in the neighborhood, but just couldn't get it. And here comes the punt team.
Southern Columbia stands to get great field position out of this. Jason Marshall will punt it. And Grady Garcia and Braden Andrews are the return men for Southern Columbia. High short kick. Andrews will let it hit. Doesn't take much of a roll. Farrell will fall on it about the 43-yard line. So Farrell says in their mind it hit a Southern Columbia player, and if it did, then it would be Farrell football, but it does not look like the officials will agree.
No, they're saying no, it did not touch anybody. It's considered the right call, illegal touching, and first down at the 43. 27 yards and no return on the punt.
And Pegues needs his defense to come up with a play here. Southern Columbia has not turned the ball over yet in this football game, and they are in a dangerous position right now if you're a Farrell Steeler fan, because it's 22-8 Tigers, and they've got a short field. They're going to start in Farrell territory at the Steeler 43-yard line, and they've got all 3 of their timeouts left.
And only going with a 3-man line. Now they bring 2 linebackers up.
Give his to Andrews, following his fullback, bounces off his fullback and fights his way inside the 40 before he's wrapped up and brought down by Deontay Gillespie, the freshman outside linebacker who wraps him up at the 39, gain of 4.
Clock will tick under 2 minutes here. As you mentioned, Southern has all 3 timeouts, and they're going to send they send Kissinger out on out at split end and everybody else up tight.
Andrews goes in motion. There's the reverse back to Garcia. Garcia gets a block inside the 35 and fights his way close to the 33, which is where the first down marker is. And they're going to say he has it. 11th first down of this first half for the Southern Columbia Tigers.
Well, we've hit my over-under on how many times they run the inside reverse. That's 5 that I count so far. Twice it went for touchdowns, and this time it goes for a first down.
5th carry of the day for Garcia for 85 yards, and the 2 scores. Here's Williams, the fullback, fighting his way through a hole and fighting his way inside the 30 at the same time and down to the 26, and a gain of 7.
Timeout Southern, a good call. I like this call here.
So Jim Roth will call the timeout here with 1:28 left to go. We'll take a timeout with the Tigers, who lead at 22-8 when we get back on the PIAA Radio Network.
Becoming a champion is an incredible accomplishment, especially at a level as competitive as the PIAA. That's why the Faulkner Automotive Group proudly salutes the student athletes and their families for making it this far. When it's time to upgrade your vehicle, choose any of the 31 Faulkner dealerships in Philadelphia, Lancaster, Bethlehem, Harrisburg, or Mechanicsburg. You'll find award-winning teams doing business the right way and a fast and easy buying experience. Compare low prices on thousands of vehicles and find the one that's perfect for you. Faulkner, to be sure.
You're listening to high school football on the PIAA Radio Network. And one of our proud sponsors is the Edgar Snyder & Associates. With over 40 years of experience, check them out. They've seen every trick in the book. When you hire their law firm, they'll fight the insurance company every day to get you the money you deserve. Give them a call, 1-800-94-EDGAR. Well, it's been all Southern Columbia in this first half. They've dominated the line of scrimmage. They've dominated the time of possession. And right now they lead the scoreboard 22-8. And they have the football following the timeout. 1:28 left to go in the half. 2nd and 3 for the Tigers at the Farrell 26-yard line. Garcia in motion, gets the handoff on the sweep left side. Steps back across the line of scrimmage and steps himself forward for a first down. They'll spot him down at the 22. He needed 3, he got 4.
Bob, I'm going to flash back to week 1, week 0 of the season. Well, I can't because they're going right away.
Right back to the line of scrimmage. Here's the reverse. Garcia hands it back to Andrews, who gets knocked down at about the 21, a gain of just 1.
Would you have believed back in week 0 when you saw Wyomissing play Southern Columbia that this version of Southern Columbia would be here at this point?
Well, I asked Jim Roth that question before the game today, and I'll tell you his answer right after the 2nd and 9. Hockenbrock wants to throw for it, and he throws it out. First catch by one of his receivers. It's Nate Gallagher who makes the catch. He's hit immediately, and now Southern Columbia will call the timeout with 47 seconds left to go, as the pass caught by Gallagher is at the 16-yard line. And that was the question, because I saw the game, called the game between Wyomissing and Southern Columbia. Wyomissing won at 42-29, and I said, if I'd asked you that night, do you think you'd be back here in the state championship game? His answer was, well, the reason we got so much better, and it's kind of surprising what's happened in his first half, he put a lot of that credit on his defensive line. He said, we are vastly better. The guys we have up front on our front four defensively, Ethan Mikowski, Chase Williams, the ends, Jaden Carter, John Quinton, the tackles, have gotten better and better and better each week. And look, when you're coached by a Hall of Fame coach who's coached as many years as he has, 41, you know you're going to get better every day in practice. And so the difference between game 1 and this, game 16, you better be better, and they are drastically better.
And some of those guys will be back next year.
They will indeed. At the 16-yard line is where the Tigers have it right now on a 3rd down and 4 after Andrews gets 5 more. And this is Hockenbrock, the quarterback keeper, takes it inside the 10. And Travis, I got to be honest with you, I think this is when the game changed to Southern Columbia's favor, is when they started having Hockenbrock run those bootlegs and picking up big yards.
He first ran the bootleg halfway through the 2nd touchdown drive, and then he's run, going to count maybe 4 or 5 more.
Now they give it to Andrews on the sweep to the right side, and Jules Johnson saves him from going into the end zone. It'll be second down and goal from the 1 as Andrews is stopped at the 1. And now Southern Columbia will call the timeout. We're going to pause 10 seconds for station identification on the PIAA Radio Network.
You're listening to the PIAA Football Championships on the PIAA Radio Network.
22 seconds remaining in the first half, and Southern Columbia uses its third and final timeout. So they've worked this clock down. They've worked it just to the point where they wanted to have a now second down and goal to go from the 1 yard line, making sure they run as much time off the clock as they can because they don't want to kick it back and they don't want to give it back to Farrell because the Steelers can strike in a heartbeat.
It's going to be interesting, what they call here, because if, knowing Southern, a play could take 5 seconds to get into the end zone, and then you'd have to kick it away. So it's like running down the clock at the end of a game to try and set up a field goal, but this is just the first half here, so you don't have to kick it away.
Right. You don't have a timeout left, so if you don't get in the end zone here, you're going to have to get to the line of scrimmage and spike the football to stop the clock. They're going to go with that T formation behind him. They're going to give it to Garcia, and Grady Garcia is going to get his third touchdown of the night. Not nearly as dramatic as the first two, but Garcia takes it in from a yard out.
It was the T formation. He was the far right side. They run it left. The two men to the left of him decide to go up front and block ahead of him. And when you've got 5 blocking 4 with just 1 yard to go, you should win that battle. Southern did.
So the Tigers put together the drive with the short field to work with. Again, they started this at the 43-yard line after Farrell was unable to pick up the first down because of the penalty. And again, the Tigers are going to go for 2 here, and they'll run right back with that T formation. Andrews, Williams, and Garcia left to right across the back. They're going to give it to Andrews for the 2, and he will not get there as he's tripped up, brought down before he can get there by Dorian Kane. So the 2-point conversion is denied. It is now a 28-8 advantage for Southern Columbia with 19 seconds left to go in the half.
9 plays, 43 yards, and that took almost the rest of the half off, 2 minutes and 4 seconds. So they leave 19 seconds on the clock. Kickoff, and Preston Shada was back in. He kicked the last kick, which got touched and then went in the end zone. He'll be back out kicking again. Kind of interested to see what the strategy is. If they're just going to kick it out of bounds and let the defense, which has been really doing a great job shutting down everybody on the Farrell offense, are they going to kick it out of bounds, or they're going to short kick it, or how they going to handle it? The thinking changed after the kickoff return for the touchdown.
Timmy Jackson and Jaden King Vincent are the 2 men back. They just flip-flop sides of the field. Jackson had been on the left side and King Vincent on the right. Now they just flip-flop with one another. It was King Vincent who returned the kickoff for a touchdown, and the second one went through his legs, and ultimately it led to a touchback. So it's been a kind of a feast or famine moment for King Vincent on the return game. And they're going to kick it on that same side, and this time it's going to be Jackson who's going to get the opportunity from his 14-yard line. Across the 20, 25, and that's as far as he's going to get at the 26-yard line. So Farrell will get a play here. The Steelers will get the football to start the third period. So we'll see what Amp Pegues wants his offense to do here with 13 seconds left to go in the half. I got to think with the skill sets of the Farrell Steelers, he's going to take a shot here.
He's going to probably go the 4-receiver set again like he did towards the end of the last drive and keep Johnson there as a decoy, or maybe they do have a 5-receiver set with Johnson as one of the receivers. We'll see how they line up. And they're not going to go empty set. They're going to keep Johnson in the backfield.
So he is in the backfield with 3 receivers again on the left and 1 on the right for Aaron Pegues. Tries to step up in the pocket. He's not going to get there. He's going to get wrapped up and brought down. John Quinton, the defensive tackle, drags him down from behind. And the sack of the quarterback will end the half as the Southern Columbia defense, we just talked about those front 4 for the Tigers, and they make an impact on the final play of the first half. After 2 quarters of football, it is the Southern Columbia Tigers 28, the Farrell Steelers 8. We're back with halftime activities on the PIAA Radio Network right after this.
The Hampton Inn and Town Place Suites Harrisburg West and Mechanicsburg are proud to partner with the PIAA to welcome teams and their families from across Pennsylvania. Our award-winning properties provide the region's best lodging opportunities, including double-bedded guest rooms, studios, suites, and 1- and 2-bedroom suite options with all the luxuries of home. Put your team first. Check us out at highhotels.com.
Today's game is streaming live on the NFHS Network. With the NFHS Network, you can watch live and on-demand high school sports on any device, wherever you are. You can relive all the incredible moments from today's matchup on demand at nfhsnetwork.com or with the NFHS Network app for Apple and Android.
The PIAA would like to thank Preferred Headwear and Headbrand supplier Outdoor Cap and Junk Brands for their continued sponsorship of PIAA athletics. Their products are built to perform with style from the sidelines to the stands. Visit junkbrands.com to learn more.
The Pennsylvania Association of Broadcasters and the PIAA, two community-focused organizations, are proud to be collaborating to provide Pennsylvanians free access to local high school sports broadcasts. To follow your schools, check your local TV and radio stations for coverage. Through the PAB and PIAA partnership, following Pennsylvania student athletes has never been easier.
You're listening to the PIAA Football Championships on the PIAA Radio Network.
What would it be?
Welcome back to halftime, where the Southern Columbia Tigers are on top of the Farrell Steelers by a score of 28-8 alongside Travis Sparks. My name is Bob McCool. Travis, I want to go back to the first half, obviously, and what Southern Columbia was able to do. I said it passingly before their final touchdown in that first half. Even though, obviously, Grady Garcia got it rolling for them with that 32-yard touchdown, I really do feel as if that bootleg by Hockenbrock, the quarterback, kind of changed the complexion a little bit. And you mentioned this a couple times because it made Farrell have to think about where he was, and he was really good at keeping them thinking that, do I or do I not have the football in each and every one, carrying out his fakes, and it's just spreading out that defense and opening up the possibilities for Southern Columbia.
Williams is getting his yards. Garcia is getting his yards. Andrews is getting his yards, and they're all coming in 5-6 yard spurts. But it's Hockenbrock who's been getting some of the bigger chunks. He had 21 yards in the first scoring drive, excuse me. He's been getting other good gains, 19. He had the 15-yard on the 3rd and goal back at the 19 after the holding penalty, which got them in position to get the touchdown on 4th and goal from the 4. And then he just kept getting nice size chunks. Had a 10-yard gain to make it 1st and goal down here at the 6. Yeah, it's, like I've said, wing T is all based on misdirection, and that's just another ingredient in this recipe for Southern Columbia that's just, okay, who gets it this time? You've got 4 guys really in the backfield. When they go to the T formation or the full house backfield, and plus you got the wings to the side too, you got to worry about. It's like, all right, who's getting the ball? And by the time you figure it out, they're 5 yards upfield.
Yeah, this is really a problem. And again, Ampagis said the one thing we can't let them do is dominate the football and put together long drives. And that's exactly what Southern Columbia was able to do in the first half. Now, the good news for Farrell is 2 things. 1, they get the football to start the 3rd quarter. And 2, if there's a team that has the dynamic ability to get back in this game in a blink of an eye, it is the Farrell Steelers. With their speed, their skill sets, they can get back in this game quickly. But even if they don't score with that first drive, they've got to put together some kind of offensive series, and they've got to find a little bit of a spark plug on offense in that first series.
Their drives, 5, 5, and 1. Including that sack at the end. And how many times has Jules Johnson touched the ball? Twice.
Yeah.
Net yards, 0.
Yeah, that's obviously a game changer for the Farrell Steelers. And so we'll see if, in fact, they can change the game in the second half, because the first was owned by the Southern Columbia Tigers. 22-8. We'll take a timeout. James Dotson will come back and he'll run through all of the scoring for the first half and sum things up as our halftime show continues on the PIAA Radio Network.
Fans, you can have it in white, chocolate, strawberry, or practically any flavor you like. It's the beauty of milk, and no other drink quenches a king-size thirst like milk. After practice, reach beyond the colas and other drinks and get your hands on a tall, cold glass of milk and enjoy. Whole milk, whole nutrition. The PIAA thanks the Allied Milk Producers of Pennsylvania for supplying our athletes with delicious chocolate milk for their bus rides home after today's championships. Max Preps is your source for Pennsylvania high school sports. Schedules, stats, scores, rosters, rankings, video, and photos. Max Preps gives you access to every team, every game, and every player across the state. Follow your favorite teams by downloading the Max Preps app or go to maxpreps.com. Max Preps, your source for Pennsylvania high school sports. Get in the game.
Welcome to the halftime show on the PIAA Radio Network. With a recap of the first half, here's James Dotson.
Tigers in control. That's your first half recap. Southern Columbia leading 28-8 over Farrell here at the halftime break. Some of these numbers just absolutely unconscious. Southern Columbia 39 plays run of offense, Farrell just 9. Their only touchdown coming on a kick return. We'll recap the full scoring here in a moment. First down, Southern Columbia 13, Farrell 1. Rushing yards, Southern Columbia 235, Farrell -25. Time possession, 18 minutes 42 seconds for Southern Columbia, just 5 minutes 18 seconds for the Farrell Steelers. All Southern Columbia, they have scored on all 4 of their first half possessions. Let's take a look at the first half highlights. Right down the field on the first possession of the game go the Tigers. A little double handoff, inside reverse trap to Grady Garcia. You're going to hear that name a lot, but this one from 32 yards out to get things started for Coach Roth's squad.
Here comes the buck reverse, and Garcia's got an edge. He's got a blocker. He's got the 20. Cuts back 10, 5. Touchdown, Southern Columbia. Grady Garcia takes it from 32 yards out, gets blocking downfield. A great block thrown downfield by his quarterback, Aiden Hockenbrock, to help spring him for the touchdown.
Yeah, saw it a couple of times with Hockenbrock leading as a lead blocker on those outside runs. That one there springing untouched 32 yards for that Garcia touchdown. Farrell, though, responded immediately on the ensuing kickoff. Jaden King Vincent to the house.
That breaks a tackle, 25, 30, 35, and 40. He is free and clear at the 50, and nobody's going to run him down now. On the opening kickoff for the Farrell Steelers, they will take it to the house. Jaden King Vincent takes it 92 yards.
They officially listed it as 90 yards on that kick return for a touchdown. 2-point conversion was good, so it was 8-6 Farrell at that point, just 4 minutes into the contest. But after that, basically all Southern Columbia the rest of the way. Another long drive down the field. Garcia finds pay dirt again.
And this time up the gut goes Garcia, and he's going to kick it out. And Grady Garcia is going to have his second touchdown of the afternoon. Saw an opening up the middle, then kicked it outside. Touchdown, Southern Columbia.
25 yards on that Southern Columbia touchdown, 14-6. Farrell, ensuing drive, gets down the field on a long pass, but on third down, a sack, a fumble. Southern Columbia in control again. Only a 59-yard drive. They convert on fourth down twice, though. A 9-minute drive capped off with another touchdown from 4 yards out.
Garcia goes in motion, and it's going to be Andrews on the reverse, and Andrews will follow his blockers into the end zone. Touchdown, Southern Columbia.
2-point conversion also good, 22-6 the score after a 3-and-out, another short field. Southern Columbia working their way down into scoring position again. Grady Garcia one more time to cap off the first half.
They're going to give it to Garcia, and Grady Garcia is going to get his third touchdown of the night. Not nearly as dramatic as the first two, but Garcia takes it in from a yard out.
1 yard touchdown again, his third of the afternoon, 28-6. The Southern Columbia lead at the half. Again, 239 total yards for the Tigers, just 12 yards of offense for Farrell. All Tigers here from Chapman Stadium at Cumberland Valley High School for this 2A championship. We reached the midway point after today's game, this afternoon's game. We'll take a look back at yesterday's 2 contests and look ahead at tonight's 5A championship game when the halftime show continues. Back in a moment here on the PIAA Radio Network.
Baron rings are the official championship ring of the PIAA. For more information or to order your custom championship rings, please go to baronrings.com. That website, once again, is baronrings.com to order your custom championship rings today.
Some see a high school football stadium. We see a place where Pennsylvanians come together as a community. The Pennsylvania Association of Broadcasters and the PIAA creating opportunities for student athletes to be seen across Pennsylvania.
You're listening to the PIAA Football Championships on the PIAA Radio Network.
As our halftime show continues, 28-6, Southern Columbia leading Farrell here in the Class 2A PIAA State Championship game. Take a look back at last night, the opening night of games. I'd say yesterday afternoon first. Clareton all over Bishop Guilfoyle, 35-3 for their 5th state championship yesterday. They held Bishop Guilfoyle to negative rushing yards in that game. We have a similar scenario here as negative 25 yards for Farrell in the first half of today's game. Dion Lovelace-Pompey led Clareton 2 touchdowns on the ground and a pick 6 as Clareton gets their first championship since 2012 and their 5th overall state title. In the nightcap, fireworks galore. Southern Lehigh and Twin Valley going back and forth in the early going. Southern Lehigh too much down the stretch in the offense. 43-21 to win the Class 4A state championship, their first ever, and a record-setting night for Sean Steckert. About 301 yards on the ground. That's the second most ever in a state championship game here in Pennsylvania. 301 yards on 37 carries and 4 touchdowns. The teams combined for 771 total yards of offense. Here again, 28-6, Southern Columbia leading Farrell at the halftime break. We'll have the 2 games tomorrow, also the 5A championship tonight as we begin the second half of the championships here at Cumberland Valley High School. Chapman Field will be rematch field for the rest of the games here, as Roman Catholic Bishop McDevitt tonight is a rematch of last year's title game, as is tomorrow afternoon's 3A game between Avonworth and Northwestern Lehigh of championship games from a year ago, both of them going into overtime. The 6A game tomorrow night at 7 o'clock is a rematch of a Week 0 game between LaSalle College and Central Catholic out of Pittsburgh. But tonight's 5A game, Roman Catholic and Bishop McDevitt. I think we can expect probably another higher scoring game with, again, 2 teams that know each other. They're familiar with each other from last year. Roman Catholic with a few more pieces back on their squad from last year's team. It all starts with their quarterback, Samaj Beals. How about 3,000-plus yards passing and 45 touchdowns? 2 receivers who have a chance to go over 1,000 receiving yards on the year in Ash Roberts and Evan Stee. The way that or depends on how everything goes tonight, but very possible they could do so. That was Roman Catholic's only state title appearance was last year when they fell to McDevitt. 2-time defending champions are Bishop McDevitt. Again, with Sebastian Williams as the lead guy in terms of the passing game, 2,100 yards and 19 touchdowns on the year. Nazir Jones-Davis is the stalwart on the ground, as is Jerome LaRue, a big boy there to assist as being a 1-2 punch in the backfield. Those 2 are going to have to control the clock, though, against a Roman Catholic team. Yeah, they beat LaSalle College. They have 3 losses on the year, but they've challenged themselves with a very, very difficult non-region, non-conference schedule over the course of the year. Last year went into overtime, McDevitt getting their 2nd straight championship. We expect another potential instant classic in tonight's contest as well. Eric Thomas will be on the call for that one. Here tonight, again, a 7 o'clock kickoff on the PIAA Radio Network. Farrell will receive the kickoff to start the second half, but they trail Southern Columbia 28-8. We'll send it back to our broadcast crew, Mr. Bob McCool and Travis Sparks, when we return here on the PIAA Radio Network.
Today's game is streaming live on the NFHS Network. With the NFHS Network, you can watch live and on-demand high school sports on any device, wherever you are. You can relive all the incredible moments from today's matchup on demand at nfhsnetwork.com or with the NFHS Network app for Apple and Android.
fans, feel right at home when on the road at the Homewood Suites by Hilton, Harrisburg West. Our hotel is great for families because we've got 2-bedroom suites. Here you'll find exactly what you need to fuel your day from sunrise to sunset. Enjoy great amenities like free hot breakfast, free Wi-Fi, a fitness center, and a 24-hour convenience mart in an award-winning hotel in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. It's the Homewood Suites, Harrisburg West.
What is life-changing medicine? Is it returning to the playing field or your favorite hiking path after an injury? Or running with your grandkids after a joint replacement? At UPMC, life-changing medicine is all those things. Through innovative research, rehabilitation, and advanced surgical procedures, our experts get you back to what you love doing. UPMC, changing healthcare, changing lives. Life-changing medicine.
Believe it or not, at Edgar Snyder and Associates, their competition isn't other law firms. It's the insurance companies. If you've been hurt in an accident, watch out. Insurance companies will short sell you. They will deny your claim. They will do anything they can to avoid paying you. With over 40 years of experience, Edgar Snyder and Associates has seen every trick in the book. They'll fight the insurance company every day to get you the money you deserve. They're available 24/7, so contact them now at 1-800-94-EDGAR. And remember, there's never a fee unless they get money for you.
You're listening to the PIAA Football Championships on the PIAA Radio Network.
Back at halftime alongside Travis Sparks. My name is Bob McCool, and again, it is a 28-8 advantage for Southern Columbia after 2 quarters of football. Steelers in their 7th PIAA state championship game. This their first at the 2A level. All the others were at the 1A level. They are 4-2 all-time in state championships. They won it in 1995 with a quarterback by the name of Anthony M. Pegues, who now, of course, is their head coach. They beat Southern Columbia in that game, and they came right back and beat the Tigers the next year as well in 1996. They won it in 2018, and they won it in 2019 as well with Anthony Pegues as the head coach. One of the very few people in the state of Pennsylvania who's ever won a state title as both a player and as a head coach, and now he is trying to beat Southern Columbia and Jim Roth. The irony, of course, is that Jim Roth faced Pegues as a quarterback back in that 1995, and now, of course, he is the head coach for the Southern Columbia Tigers, who won 7 in a row at the 2A level from 2017 to 2023. And, of course, they had a run of 4 in a row from 2002 to 2006. That was at the single A level, and that was the Henry Hynaski years for Southern Columbia, and all a path of 14 titles for Southern Columbia. Going back into the 1990s, Travis and I talked about this a little bit with Jim Roth having me talked into taking the Southern Columbia head coaching job back in the 1980s when he took the job, because Southern Columbia wasn't very good. Then he got them to this stage, but for a while he struggled on this stage and winning state championships. Not like anybody was thinking about getting rid of Jim Roth in any way, and I don't mean it in that way, but there was that adage for a little bit that Jim Roth couldn't win that state championship, and obviously he's proven that theory wrong.
Yeah, he had the years with quarterback Matt Caskey. He had Nate Chicatano as one of the specialists who ended up going to Notre Dame. He just had a great team. It just could not get over the final hump. And then he started changing the way he trained them in the offseason. And that in 2002, when he's got triplets, and his son, Cale Roth, was a senior on that team, caught a touchdown pass in that championship game. And that's what finally broke the mold of that losing streak. He finally got going, and the train didn't stop from there. He got 4 more after that. So, yeah, it's been a great story for Southern. From where they come from, in the middle of Columbia County, in an area that's more known for its amusement park in the summertime for Knoebels, and most of the kids who go to school there work there in the summertime. This has been just a great story and a legacy. I mean, that's a great way to put it. A legacy of the football in Southern Columbia. You could say it's the same thing for Farrell as well. It's a tiny community right on the Ohio border. It's got the steel mill to the west side of town. It's not a very big school district. They didn't have a whole lot make the trip out here from Farrell, because it's about a 3 hour 45-minute drive from out just south of Sharon, and not too far from Youngstown. But a good turnout, and you at the 2A level, you don't have as many kids, but the community support here has just been tremendous. And speaking of the support, thank you to the PIAA for starting the radio network, and thanks to all the affiliates who have joined us along the way today and all weekend long. And we can't wait to do this, keep doing it over and over again, as long as these kids keep making state championships.
I got to make a Farrell comment here because I'm just about 30 minutes away from Farrell as well. And you said, not a lot of the town there. I do think that's about half the town on the other side. That's how small of a community, but how tight-knit of a community it is.
Yep.
But very interesting. Ann Pegues is also the athletic director at Farrell. Last year, in the state quarterfinals, there was a bad blizzard that canceled a bunch of games and pushed them back. Well, a lot of schools couldn't host on Saturdays. Farrell said, hey, our field's available if you want to come and host. So they hosted a game. They're only about 5 miles away from the Ohio border. They hosted a game that was technically on the eastern side of the bracket between Bishop Guilfoyle and Westinghouse. That was ended up playing at Farrell High School. So just a kind of crazy how, there is no real east-west anymore and how close they are to the border. That's got to be the most western game that I've ever seen on an eastern side of a bracket last year.
So we are about to get the second half started. Again, it is a 28-8 advantage for the Southern Columbia Tigers, but Farrell will get the football. Again, the lone score to this point in time for the Steelers is that kickoff return. Jaden King Vincent officially goes as a 90-yard kickoff return. That's been the offense or the scoring so far for the Steelers. And King Vincent is back there again along with Timmy Jackson as the return men for the Steelers. Now we are about to get the second half underway, the 2A championship here on the PIAA Radio Network. And this will be King Vincent, and they're going to run a reverse, but the ball is on the ground. King Vincent picks it back up, fights his way to the 20, and a disaster is averted. They tried to lateral it from King Vincent back to Jackson, and they simply missed the lateral, and the ball was on the ground.
A good idea, but why would you do a toss at that point? You would want to do a straight handoff, being that you're back at your own 10-yard line, just trying to make something happen. I understand why they did it, but the execution was just off.
Well, we said it at halftime. We'll repeat it. Southern Columbia, with their defensive front, has been so good, and they've gotten to Aaron Pegues a number of times, and because of that, the Farrell Steelers start the second half with minus 25 rushing yards, and they're going to go Wildcat here. They'll shift Pegues to a slot receiver side on the right side, and Jules Johnson fakes as if he's going to throw it. He tries to run with it instead. He'll get tripped up as he does so across the 23-yard line as he's tripped up from behind. Looked like he had a little bit of an opening, but got tripped up for a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, it was Grady Garcia who, not Garcia, it was 43 for, it was
Chase Williams.
Yeah, Chase Williams, excuse me. So only a gain of 3 there, so now he's finally in positive yards.
At the 23-yard line, Pegues now back to take the snap as a shotgun. He has 2 receivers to his right, 2 to his left. Pegues 2 for 4 throwing the football in the first half. The big one, the 38-yard gain to Kane. Looking in that direction again. He's going to find his leading receiver in the season. Jamari Jones makes a catch and across the 40 before he's finally wrapped up and brought down by Caius Morrow all the way out to the 43-yard line and a first down for the Steelers.
That's only the second big play for Farrell. That first one was 39 yards, which happened to be the second play of the first half that they had on offense, which finally happened later on in the first quarter. But they can need a lot more of these if they're going to make up this 20-point deficit.
King Vincent and Kane split out on the right side. Jones and Jackson on the left. And Pegues is going to roll out to his right. Straight sprint out rollout. Throws it up high and hoping for something to happen, but it's broken up and almost intercepted by Brady Arnold. Brady Arnold with great coverage downfield as he was looking in the direction of Jamari Jones, or actually he was in the direction of King Vincent, but well covered and incomplete.
Yeah, he tried to one-hand it. I think his left arm was kind of tied up behind him, and he tried to one-hand it. It just went off his chest, and it's going to be now second and long.
We really never gave you the Southern Columbia defensive unit because they haven't been out there that much. We talked about the front four, Mikowski and Williams and Carter and Quinton. But then the outside backers are Anthony Martino and Brady Arnold. Callum Piatt and Noah Whitting, and Caius Morrow's out there kind of either as a backer or a defensive back. Blaze Kissinger, Nate Gallagher, and Caden Zachman are all the defenders out there. Here's the big hole for Johnson, his first big gain of the night, and he's in Southern Columbia territory for Farrell for the first time. Finally dragged down across the 45 and down to the Tiger 44 and a first down. Farrell.
Yeah, 13 yards on the gain. It didn't look like a clean handoff. Pegues lines up maybe about 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and Johnson right next to him, and it just wasn't a clean handoff, but Johnson got it just in time to get the good yardage.
Southern Columbia had 13 first downs in the first half. Farrell just one. They've got 2 in this series. They're in Southern Columbia territory. Pegues is going to keep it himself, trying to get outside. Nothing there. The Southern Columbia Tigers will meet the quarterback before he gets to the line of scrimmage and drop him back 2 yards.
Yeah, double kudos on that one to Keegan Deal and Caden Hopper there on the stop on stringing out Pegues, and he lost 2.
So it's been that kind of day for Pegues in terms of his rushing yards, because those sacks go against the quarterback in his rushing guard, so he loses 2 more as a byproduct of that. And now officially he is at minus 27 rushing yards on that 2-yard loss. Carleo Lau is now in there as the H-back, as a blocker on the left side in front of Jules Johnson, but Pegues wants to throw for it. Looking for a man outside, but he slipped. Dorian Kane tried to get outside, but the feet went out from under him, couldn't get to where the ball was thrown, incomplete.
Yeah, weather's still not a factor here. He just slipped that time. The wind still not a factor. Still, we're in the mid-20s here, and just lost his footing there.
So it's 3rd down and 12 now for the Steelers at the 46-yard line. And based on where this game is and the way this thing is going, this is pretty much 4-down territory, you would assume, for the Steelers. But they'd like to get at least a chunk of this and make their work a little bit easier on 4th down if they can't get it here. It's 3rd and 12.
Only about a 5-yard cushion between the receivers and the defensive backs.
Damar Kane is now in there as a receiver. He's supposed about slot left. Pegues, deep drop, looking left, looking now he's going to get flushed out right, looking for a man, it's incomplete. He was looking for the other Kane twin, Dorian Kane, but it's too high and incomplete, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, Kissinger on the coverage there on the outside, and this is, you don't talk about a moment where this could be the ball game, but with how Southern has been chewing up clock, this could be the ball game.
And it's 4th and 12, and they're at the 46-yard line. So if they get nothing out of this and Southern Columbia takes over the football, that's been the problem for Farrell, that Southern Columbia has not just churned out the yardage, but they've started in pretty good field position as well. Dorian Kane will split out on the right side. Mari Jones is split out on the left, with Damar Kane slot left. 3rd and 12. They need to get to the Southern Columbia 34 to keep the drive alive. And a flag before the snap of the football, or was a timeout called? I think the play clock was winding down, and Pegues realizing we got to get a timeout or we're going to be backed up even a further spot. They did not get the timeout in time, so it's going to cost them 5 yards. Delay a game penalty against the Tigers, against the Steelers, backs them up another 5.
Yeah, it took a while for the 2 receivers here on the near side to get set, because Jones and Damari Kane were switching positions and tick, tick, tick all that time. And finally they said, nope, clock reached 0.
Been a pretty penalty-free football game. Both teams with just 2 penalties in the first half, but that's a costly one for Farrell right now. Now in a 4th and 17 at their own 49. Pegues steps up in the pocket, trying to get away, and he will not get away as he's dropped for a 3rd time. 3rd sack of the game for the Southern Columbia Tigers, and now by a field position that really changes the landscape.
Knocked him all the way back to the 39.
So another loss of 10 on the play, but even more importantly, Southern Columbia gets the football now at that spot and in Farrell territory, as Travis said, at the 39-yard line. So an absolute disaster start for the Steelers, exactly what they didn't want to do. And now Southern Columbia has it 1st and 10 at the Steeler 39.
They don't need to throw here. Run and chew up clock.
28-8 is their score, with Southern Columbia taking possession for the first time. And they're going to do the exact opposite. Deep drop for Hockenbach, looking for somebody open. Going to dump it off instead to his tight end, Malikoski. He's hit immediately, and it might actually lose yardage on the play.
He'll lose 3, and the whole time Hockenbach was going to his outside receiver. Go here. He was pointing with his left hand, and then finally decides to just dump it off to his tight end.
who's running this offense? Coming out and throwing deep on first down, trying to get something different, but instead they lose 2 back to the 41-yard line, so it's 2nd down and 12 now coming up for Southern Columbia. Gallagher's in there as the split end. He's on the right side. Garcia goes in motion from right side to left. And here's the reverse. Back to Andrews. Tries to slip out of 1 tackle. Jules Johnson will wrap him up. Gain of a yard back to the 40. It's going to be 3rd and 11. Be a huge stop here for the Farrell defense if they can get Southern Columbia off the field immediately.
Yeah, Jules Johnson, he hasn't made his mark on offense, but he's been staying home on defense. The inside reverse is not working as well as it did in the first half, and now kind of interesting to see what they're going to go with, what they would go with here on 3rd and 11.
The tight end, Malakowski, comes out. They're going to go 2 split ends with Kissinger on the left side, Gallagher on the right on 3rd and 11. Looking for the quick hitter on the slant, and it's Kissinger. He makes the catch. Did he hold on as he got hit by Dorian Kane coming up, and they're going to spot him down short of the first down. It's going to bring up 4th and 1. Ball spotted at the 30. They needed 11. They got 10 of it. It's 4th down and 1.
But if you're Southern, that's okay, because you've been getting in the short yard situations, you have been winning at about a 75% clip. I would even say 85%. And new personnel coming in, they've got 17 on the play clock, and they're still huddling up. But by the time they get to the line of scrimmage, they'll then, set for a second, and then they'll run it. Down to 8.
They bring big Miles Hilton in as the nose guard at 370 pounds to clog up the middle here on 4th and 1. Everybody up at the line of scrimmage, but Joey Williams, the fullback, gets the call, and he did not get there. Farrell responds to the challenge, and the Steelers come up with the stop, and they will take possession.
Yeah, they went to Williams, but it was stuff. They had to rush. If I'm Jim Roth, I would have called timeout when I saw with 3 seconds left that they weren't going to get it. It looked like it was going to be a rush job, but that's why I'm up here and he's down there with all that gold.
And he has to have a little bit to play with a 28-8 advantage. But a huge stop there for Farrell's defense. They had to come up with a stop and get the football back. They do. They keep Southern Columbia from scoring with 7 minutes exactly remaining in the 3rd quarter. Farrell comes up with its first defensive stop of the game. And now right back to work goes Aaron Pegues and the offense starting from their own 30. Pegues wants to throw for it right away. Looking for the home run. He's looking for Jones. It's a jump ball. And it's actually Dorian Kane who's up there trying to come down with it. And both player, offense and defense, it appears, have the football. Waiting for the officials to say who has it. And it's Steeler football and a first down at the Southern Columbia 39-yard line.
I wouldn't be surprised if they called dual possession. We got a flag because it looked like one of the Southern Columbia players said, no, not that nicely. And looks like that could be a free 15 for Farrell.
Well, because I do believe the reason why the Southern Columbia players were up in arms is because they caught the ball first, but before going down to the ground, at least what the officials are seeing is that the Farrell receiver then was able to grab on. Simultaneous possession, yes, is always awarded to the offense. So if Southern Columbia hits the ground first before it's ripped away or before it's dually grabbed, then yes, it should have been an interception. But the officials come in and see simultaneous before hitting the ground, therefore it has to be awarded as a catch.
So it's a 41-yard gain to the 39-yard line now for Farrell. So they flipped it from their 30 to the 39-yard line and now add on to the end of it a 15-yard personal foul penalty against Southern Columbia. And so the Steelers will take that as they'll add another 15 on to the end of the possession. So now for Farrell, they are all the way down to the 24-yard line. 28-8 is our score with 6:51 left to go in the 3rd, and the Steelers deep into Southern Columbia territory for the first time, and they're going to split Jules Johnson out now as a slot receiver. He's on the left side. Pegues is in the backfield by himself. 3 receivers to his left, 2 to his right. 1st and 10 again from the 24. Pegues is going to call his own number in a quarterback draw. Trying to get outside, not much there as he's wrapped up and brought down. The ball came loose, but I believe he was down when the ball came out. Talon Piat, who had the tackle on the play and came away with the football as well, picks it up at the 21-yard line, a gain of 3 for Pegues.
Tempo now for Farrell, and they go 5 wide.
Same look. This time Pegues wants to throw for it, looking for it in the end zone. He's got a man, and he dropped the football. all alone into the end zone, but he could not hold on. Was Jaden King Vincent. He dropped the football. It's third down.
To his defense, he outran the pass. The pass just kind of hung up in the air, and he had to make a twist to try and two-hand it, and he just could not complete the catch.
So it's now 3rd down and 7 for the Steelers. King Vincent will come out, and in comes Damar Kane. So the Kane twins, Dorian and Damar, are split out on the right side. Timmy Jackson, Jamari Jones split out on the left. Pegues looking left, flushed out to the left side, stops, plants, throws to the back of the end zone for Jules Johnson, leaps up, did he hold on? He did not, he was out of the back of the end zone. The Steelers are denied again. Jules Johnson came down with the football, but the official said he came down out of the back of the end zone. It's 4th down.
I think what happened was the Southern defender saw that he caught the ball, and then after he caught it, pushed him out, and there's no push out in pro football, and there's no push out in high school football anymore. So great play by the Southern defense and that's a split-second play. That's a quick decision, and now Farrell with 4th down.
And obviously no reason to do anything else but to go for it here. 4th and 7 from the 21. And keep the drive alive if they can get inside the 15 to the 14 of Southern Columbia. Again, naked backfield for Pegues. He's under trouble. He's just going to dump it off for Johnson. He needs to break a tackle. He does. Jules Johnson will fight his way for a 1st down for the Steelers inside the 15-yard line.
Holy moly.
To the 13-yard line. He needed to get the 1st down to move the chains, and he gets it. 1st and 10 for the Steelers and a fresh set of downs.
I think Pegues had 4 guys coming after him, and he just lofted it up and like a middle screen, but he didn't have anybody around him. Jules had 1 defender to beat, and he beat him just in the nick of time. He needed to get to the 14. He got to the 13.
Johnson again as a receiver. He's slot to the right, 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left for Pegues in the empty backfield. Again, flushed out of the pocket immediately by PIAA. He dumps it off short. Pass, I believe, is caught but wrapped up immediately for a loss on the play back to the 15-yard line. And that was Jules Johnson who made the catch. So it's a catch, but a loss of 2 back to the 15.
Just a great job of defense all around by Southern. I think Brady Arnold there on the coverage and wrap them up right away.
5 minutes now left to go in the 3rd quarter. Steelers trying to get their first offensive score of this football game. They're now 2nd and 12 at the 15-yard line.
Pegues lines up 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. That's respect for that Southern defense.
And they are coming after him in that naked backfield. 3 to his left, 2 to his right this time. Again, chased out. Just throws it up, hoping for something to happen, and a man makes a move, and he could not hold on again.
Johnson.
Jules Johnson shifted his way from the defense, but did not hold on to the football. It's 3rd down.
There's a term in hockey called dump and chase. I think that's what Farrell has to do right now. Get the snap, just throw it in the end zone, and hope one of your athletes can come over and outduel the Southern defense.
Unfortunately for the Steelers, they have not been able to hold on to 2 different balls in the end zone, and then they had the other one by Johnson, who was pushed out of the back. So it's 3rd and 12 now from the 15. Again, they can pick up a 1st down without getting a touchdown. They'd have to get inside the Southern Columbia 4-yard line. Pegues, rush coming after him right away. Over the outstretched hands of Jules Johnson and incomplete. Brayden Andrews almost came up with the interception.
That was like a Jerry Rice slant that they tried to run there, and it was just out of the reach of Johnson, and it hit Andrews right in the breadbasket. He wasn't ready for it.
So it's 4th down again for Farrell. They had the 4th and 7 at the 21. They set up the screen pass that Johnson turned into a 1st down to keep this drive alive.
Southern thinking, where's Johnson going to line up? They're either thinking that or let's everybody go to number 1.
And Johnson again is going to be a receiver, this time with Dorian Kane on the right side. He is slot to the right with 3 to the left. And Pegues again under heavy rush, looking for Johnson. He's got separation. He's got a touchdown. Finally, the Steelers connect, and it's Jules Johnson backing his way in for the touchdown on the reception.
The stick-to-itiveness of Farrell is what is impressing me right now. Their body language was just not the greatest, even regardless of whether they were driving backwards or forwards. But finally, they get 1, and they're probably going to go for 2 to try and make it within 12.
The 22nd touchdown pass of the season for Pegues. It's the 5th time that Jules Johnson has been on the receiving end of that one of those touchdown passes. As Travis said, they are going to make us or try for the 2-point conversion here. Again, they'll split Dorian Kane out as a receiver and bring Jules Johnson out with him in a slot in the right side. And now Johnson just still stutter step, and he moved. It's going to cost them 5 yards. So that'll cost Farrell 5 yards, makes the 2-point conversion attempt a little bit harder now. They're going to get backed up to the 7-yard line.
9 plays, 70 yards on that drive for Farrell. It took 2:28 off the clock. And now they gotta make their 2-pointer from the 7.
Johnson will now go into the backfield with Pegues. Sidecar to his left. Pegues wants to throw for it. Steps up in the pocket. He won't get away. He's going to get dropped for a loss again. I will not go into rushing yardage because it's a 2-point conversion. The Steelers are denied. But it is a 2-point scoring difference right now on the clock. 4:32 left to go in the third quarter. It's the Southern Columbia Tigers 28, the Farrell Steelers 14. Timeout on the PIAA Radio Network. Back with more third quarter action after this.
Thank you for over 40 years of trust. During those years, we've helped thousands of people just like you, our neighbors. We're here for you. We're here for our community. We're here for our region. The people that we worry about the most are the people who never hire an attorney. That's what the insurance company wants. When you do call us, you'll know that you have the firm with over 40 years of experience. And remember, there's never a fee unless we get money for you.
Today's game is streaming on the NFHS Network. With the NFHS Network, you can watch live and on-demand high school sports on any device, wherever you are. Text your friends and family who aren't at the game and invite them to watch live now at nfhsnetwork.com or with the NFHS Network app for Apple and Android. You're listening to the PIAA Football Championships on the PIAA Radio Network.
Well, the Farrell Steelers got what they needed. They may not have done it in their first possession of the first half, but they did come up with a big stop and come back with a score the second possession of the first half. So it is now a 2-score game at 28-14. And Grady Garcia and Braden Andrews are back deep, awaiting the kickoff from Rashad Dunbar of Farrell. But the Steelers got the stop, and they got the score, the 15-yard hookup from Anthony Pegues to Jules Johnson, finishing off a 9-play, 70-yard drive, about 2 minutes and 28 seconds off the clock. And a short kickoff that will be fielded by Andrews at his 20. 25 and 30, and that's as far as he'll go, as he's wrapped up and brought down there by Kevin Pettiford at the 31-yard line. So now can the Steelers come up with another stop? That last stop, the last time around for Farrell defensively, the first time they kept Southern Columbia off the scoreboard. And here with 4:28 left to go in the third, Tigers will go back to work.
Yeah, Southern with a very un-Southern-like drive last time. They opened with a pass, was a loss, got a yard, got a pass for 10 yards, but couldn't convert the fourth down when they tried to rush the play. So you're going to see a lot more traditional Southern football here. Here
comes Andrews on the sweep, trying to get outside, breaks through the one tackle and turns what could have been a loss into a gain, and still on his feet and still driving the pile forward all the way out to the 35-yard line. Braden Andrews was hit initially by Dorian Kane in his own backfield, ends up turning into a 5-yard gain.
Yeah, Jules Johnson with about a 5-second fight to bring him down at the 35. Got him down, but clock's still rolling, and now it's the enemy of the Farrell Steelers.
That's the 17th carry of the game for the leading rusher for Southern Columbia this season, Braden Andrews. Now over 1,500 yards in this his senior season. Here's the reverse back for Garcia. Garcia gets tripped up. Good tackle in the open field by Dorian Kane to prevent Garcia from picking up the first down. He's 2 yards short.
So third down, probably not going to go with the inside reverse this time. They'll, I would say we're due for a Hockenbrock bootleg.
They will again bring in that extra blocker in Chase Williams. Second tight end will come into the game on 3rd down and 2 from the 38-yard line for Southern Columbia. Williams the fullback. Andrews wing left, Garcia wing right. And it's going to be Hockenbrock. The quarterback tries to roll out, and Farrell's seen enough of Aiden Hockenbrock running with the football. They will wrap him up and drop him for a loss. It's 4th down.
Both the Kane brothers with the stop. Damar Kane in there. Also bring in Dorian Kane. And that's going to force Southern to punt.
We talked about it at halftime. A big piece of the change in Southern Columbia's favor was the addition and what Aiden Hockenbrock can do running with the football. And he burned and hurt Farrell a number of times. At that time, the Steelers wrapped him up, and Southern Columbia will punt the football for the first time today.
Vincent deep to receive along with Joel Johnson.
Preston Shadle is the punter. It's a line drive kick that hits and takes a Southern Columbia roll, and will continue to roll inside the 30 and eventually gets stopped there at about the 26-yard line. So the Steeler defense with another stop. Can the offense respond? They're down 28-14. They will start this time from their own 27-yard line.
And 10, Farrell.
Yeah, another 3 and out. After the 4 and out and 3 and out here in the second half for Southern, and Farrell has just kept their head above water. They're saying we're not done yet. We still got 14 minutes to play in this game.
13 first downs for Southern Columbia in the first half. Nothing so far for the Tigers here in the second. Farrell with wins over District 9 champion Karnes City in the PIAA quarterfinals, 48-20. Excuse me, in the first round. The quarterfinals, they beat District 6 champion Richland 32-14. Then last week in the semifinals, they beat the District 7 champion Seton LaSalle 40-19. In the backfield now is Jason Marshall, as Johnson's going to take the direct snap of the Wildcat, and he won't get much. So they go with a Wildcat look with both Jason Marshall and Jules Johnson in the backfield, and Johnson gets maybe a yard on forward progress. That's about it.
Yeah, 2nd and 9 now. I thought they would try the run to see if anything would happen, and Southern is just still clogging up all the running lanes.
Going to stay with the same look. It's actually Pegues who took that snap. I thought it was Johnson, but it's Pegues. He rolls out to his right looking for somebody open. Can't find anybody open. Throws the pass as he's getting tossed to the ground. Let's see what this is going to be. Pegues was about to get dropped back at around the 20-yard line and then just kind of threw it out of bounds, and there's the flag. This is going to be an intentional grounding call now on Aaron Pegues.
And that's going to be loss of down.
Spot foul.
Hey, your mic's on, dude. Yeah, it's going to be a spot foul from the 21.
It is grounding.
We are picking up the conversation with the officials when they're on the officials' mic.
Central grounding. Offense number 1. 5-yard penalty. Loss of down. 3rd down.
So again, it is a loss of down on the play as well. So it's a penalty and a loss of down. So Farrell's going to get backed up to the 16-yard line now on the sack, and the loss on the penalty puts them back to the 16. Puts them in a 3rd and 19.
Back to 4 receivers.
Two each way for Pegues. Tries to get it to Johnson, a little curl route, but he underthrows it and it's incomplete.
Incomplete pass will bring up 4th down.
Again, Pegues with virtually no time at all to even set his feet and for a receiver to break open. And he was looking in the direction of Jules Johnson. Even if he makes the catch, he's still well short of the 1st down, but it's 4th down now.
And they're going to punt. This is the right call. Still way too much time left, and you're going to need to get that extra yardage because your defense has stepped up here in the second half and trying to flip the field a little later.
So Jason Marshall will punt the football. Garcia and Andrews are the punt returners as well as the kick returners, those two halfbacks in this Southern Columbia wing tee. Low line drive kick that will hit, take a Farrell roll to just about midfield and come to a stop at the 49-yard line. So Southern Columbia again will get great field position as a byproduct with 1:28 left to go in the 3rd. It is still 28-14 Southern Columbia on top, and the Tigers will start in Farrell territory for the 2nd time in this half and the 3rd time in this game. They'll start at the 49-yard line.
3-man line still, but they bring up 2 of the linebackers. And they can't really run up the middle. unless they get a big push.
And again, they've got that big nose guard and Miles Hilton in there to clog things up. That is the direction in which they go. And they'll fight their way inside the 45 to about the 44. That's Andrews on the carry.
I'm not surprised if they just decide to go tempo here. Their version of tempo, which would be get to the line of scrimmage and snap it within 1 second of everybody being set.
6 yards on the first down keeper for Braden Andrews to this Farrell 43-yard line. Turn inside of a minute left to go in this third quarter by the time Southern Columbia snaps the football on a 2nd down and 4. Give is to Williams. The fullback finds daylight. Dragged down, just got a piece of him, and Jason Marshall just got him by the arm, or Williams might still be rolling. It's still a Southern Columbia first down, their first of the second half.
Yeah, once they can get everybody out of the way up front, get all your running backs up to the second level, I mean, it's gonna make a huge difference for Southern. Yeah, Miles Hilton goes 6'6", 370, and once you can get him out of the way, then you should have no problem getting more yardage.
Jason Marshall just might even almost tackled a football for Williams and slowed him down at the 35. It's first down and 10. Here comes Garcia. Garcia just following the blocking that pushes him inside the 35 and to about the 32, gain of 3 on first down.
And the guy who's has to block Hilton is Aiden McHale, 5'11", 255. He might be losing 100 pounds, but he's winning the battle up front with him. End of 3.
And the Southern Columbia Tigers are winning the football game through 3 quarters. We've got 12 minutes left in the 2A championship game. Southern Columbia 28, Farrell 14. We'll have the final 12 when we come back on the PIAA Radio Network.
And at the end of the PA Attorney General's office and the PIAA remind you to not let pain become a killer. If you suspect a teammate, family member, or friend of abusing prescription drugs, tell a coach, tell a teammate, tell a teacher, tell someone. For help and information, go to ddap.pa.gov, and together we can ensure that pain doesn't become a killer.
Today's game is streaming on the NFHS Network. With the NFHS Network, you can watch live and on-demand high school sports on any device, wherever you are. Text your friends and family who aren't at the game and invite them to watch live now at nfhsnetwork.com or with the NFHS Network app for Apple and Android.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the PIAA Radio Network.
You're listening to the PIAA Football Championships on the PIAA Radio Network.
We start quarter number 4 alongside Travis Sparks. My name is Bob McCool. The Southern Columbia Tigers 28, the Farrell Steelers 14. Tigers have the football as we start the 4th, 2nd down and 7 at the 32.
I didn't have on my bingo card, I would hear the Stone Cold Steve Austin theme as bumper music out here.
I'm pretty sure I heard Ric Flair at one point last night.
Yes, plenty of times.
I didn't think I was hitting the head. I thought I heard Ric Flair. Joey Williams will get the call. Joey Williams will push his way forward and maybe for a first down at the 25-yard line.
They're saying go ahead and move the sticks. Yeah, the atmosphere here at state championships, it's a lot different than it's been in years past. I mean, yeah, you'd have the marching bands like we always do and a lot of the fans, but the audio experience is once it's gotten to Cumberland Valley has been a lot more modern, shall we say.
So this has been the home here now for the last couple of years, Cumberland Valley High School, and look, this school district, it's a massive school district, and the campus itself is all but the size of a college campus, and they have embraced the opportunity to host these PIAA championships. They have done it in other sports, and now they've got the football championships here as well. Here's the handoff to Braden Andrews on a fresh set of downs for the Southern Columbia Tigers. This time the Steeler defense says no, not going to get anything. Forward progress gets him a yard to the 24, 2nd and 9.
Yeah, good job of pursuit and just staying home and just stuffing the line of scrimmages as much as possible. So no gain. That's something we didn't say a lot in the first half, but we said a lot more in the second half.
Unofficial numbers, but carries for Andrews 19 for 72. Williams, the fullback, 12 for 43. Garcia, 9 for 98 and the 3 scores. And then, of course, don't forget about Aiden Hockenbach, the quarterback, 8 times for 63. 2nd and 9 at the 24-yard line. Gallagher split out as the split end on the left side. Andrews goes in motion. The give is to Hockenbrock. He's going to keep it himself. On that bootleg, he'll turn the edge. Dorian Kane comes up to hit him at the 20. Hockenbrock leans forward to the 19 and gains 5.
He took a hit, but he bounced off it very nicely and fell forward. So Hockenbrock, yeah, that one stung a little bit, but just taking a rest. He's got a messenger to come in and give him the play, and
he's kind of standing there with the hands on the hips a little, on the thighs a little bit, kind of bent over. You're right. He definitely felt that one. I would get, if I'm a Farrell defender, I would assume that the quarterback will not keep it this time.
Yes, yes.
I think he needs a play where he's not going to take a hit. It's 3rd and 4 at the 19-yard line. The give is to Garcia, trying to find daylight. There's nothing there. Farrell stomps on him, keeps him backwards. Lost yardage back to about the 22-yard line. It's 4th down. They tried to run to the short side of the field, and Farrell came up and stuffed it. So now we'll see how Southern Columbia chooses to play this. On the loss, it's going to bring up 4th and about 7.
Farrell defense results in a loss.
Coach Roth talking it over. He's got 2 messengers coming in, Gallagher and Kissinger.
So bring both of his split ends in here now on a 4th down spot. Kissinger will split out on the right, Gallagher to the left.
10 on the clock.
Hockenbrock looks left, looks right, looking for Kissinger, and he made the catch in a lot of traffic. 1st down, goal to go. Somehow Blaze Kissinger made that catch between 3 Farrell defenders.
You can even say 4, because there were 4 right in the neighborhood there. He high pointed it, and he kept his arms up, made the catch, got his 2 feet down, and hung on to it. Great catch.
First down by way of the air for the Southern Columbia Tigers, and it's 1st and goal at the 5-yard line. 8:35 left to go. Now they're going to go with that T formation in the backfield with Williams between Andrews on his left, Garcia on his right. 2 tight ends set. Williams on the left side, Malachowski on the right. Give is to Andrews. Going to kick it outside and take it home for the touchdown. Nothing off tackle, so Braden Andrews just said there's a lot more daylight that way, and he runs it in for the score.
He could have ran that straight to Mechanicsburg. That was such a hole on the outside. Everybody was playing run in the middle, but when you have the T formation, in this case it was Andrews who was lined up at the far left, and his 2 men right behind him, they followed, and even Hockenbrock could have followed with him, but he went to the other side, and he played actor again, but it was just wide open, nothing but red end zone in front of him.
So the first score of the second half for Southern Columbia, and the Tigers are going to go for 2. They missed the first extra point. They've been going for 2 ever since. Again, with that T formation in the backfield, play action fake. Hockenbrock is not going to run. He's going to throw instead, and it's caught by Williams in the end zone for the 2-point conversion. Again, there were Farrell defenders around him, but Chase Williams just took it away for the 2-point conversion to make it a 36-14 advantage for Southern Columbia. We will take a timeout. Back with the PIAA Radio Network. Steelers in a must-score situation when we come back. They trail at 36-14.
Your score with 8-15.
Today's game is streaming on the NFHS Network. With the NFHS Network, you can watch live and on-demand high school sports on any device, wherever you are. Text your friends and family who aren't at the game and invite them to watch live now at nfhsnetwork.com or with the NFHS Network app for Apple and Android.
Get a head start on your career in exciting fields like science, communication, engineering, and medicine, along with tuition assistance in the Pennsylvania National Guard. To learn more about the Pennsylvania National Guard, check out Join PA Guard on Facebook and Instagram, or go to nationalguard.com/PA.
This game brought to you in part by UPMC, life-changing medicine. Kickoff for Southern Columbia. It's picked up on a hop by Damar Kane. Trying to go east to west, bounces off a couple tackles. He's at 35 and 40. Still on his feet across midfield. And the Farrell Steelers are going to start this drive in Southern Columbia territory. They're down 22 points with 8:06 left to go, but a shorter field now for Farrell. Thanks to the special teams run by Damar Kane, they will start at the Southern Columbia 47-yard line.
Yeah, give him about 23 yards on the return. It was a short hop, and Kane was right there and just ran. No, he may have ran about 70 yards to get 23 because he had to come all the way across the field, went to the left end zone, came back upfield a little bit, and now good field position for Farrell.
So the Steelers, needing 3 scores, really would like to strike quickly here. They got 3 receivers for McGee's on his right side, 1 on his left. Drop straight back, looking for that 1 on his left. It's underthrown, and coming back to make the catch was Jamari Jones. And down as he made the catch with his feet on, or his knee on the ground at the 40. It's a gain of 7.
Yeah, he established 2 feet. It looked like he went out of bounds, but he established 2 feet back into the field of play to get the catch.
Steelers going hurry up here on 2nd and 3 at the 40. Again, Pegues in the backfield by his lonesome. Dumps it off here, looking for Dorian Kane. Dorian Kane fights his way inside the 30 and down inside the 25. Steelers move the sticks and a first down at the 17-yard line.
They're going tempo as well, and he got through 2 defenders right by the line of scrimmage. That was just a snap and throw it, and he had time to throw it.
23 yards on the pickup to the 17-yard line. Pegues again chased out of the pocket, going to dump it off underneath. Pass is caught again by Kane. He fights inside the 15 and then gets out of bounds at about the 11-yard line. That's going to be another Steeler first down.
Might have gotten to, did he get to the, no, he got to the 11, so they can get a first down here without getting a touchdown.
Run out of bounds by Blaze Kissinger.
And they're going tempo.
So the clock does stop with him going out of bounds, but again, quickly to the line of scrimmage. Johnson now a slot receiver on the left side. Pegues wants to go himself. Nothing there on the quarterback draw, and Southern Columbia will wrap him up for a loss back to the 15.
John Quinton, we called his name a couple times. He ran right into him and just brought him right down. That's a loss of 4.
Back to the 15. It's been a rough day in terms of trying to run with the football for Pegues. Whether he's tried to run it or by way of sacks, his rushing numbers have been nothing but backwards. Back to the 15 at 2nd and 14. Inside of 7 minutes left to go in this 2A championship. Don't forget, coming up tonight, the 5A championship kicks off at 7 o'clock. Bishop McDevitt against Roman Catholic. Pegues looking for the slant and across the middle. It's broken up. He was looking for Johnson, but he was well covered by Morrow. And the incomplete pass. Is there a flag down? Southern Columbia is reacting as if there's a flag on the field. It is. It's in the back. You are correct. It's in the back corner of the end zone, or back at the 3-yard line. This is in the area where you think it might be against the defender trying to fight to break up the pass.
Might have even been off the ball.
Holding on the defense. So it was Morrow who was the defender on the pass play who grabbed a hold of Johnson.
Half the distance.
So that'll put it at the 8-yard line. Remains 2nd down. 2nd and about 6. Pegues again by his lonesome. Real quick hitter across the middle. It's deflected before it got to the intended target, which was Dorian Kane. Somebody got a hand on it and knocked it incomplete. Brings up 3rd and 6.
Pegues is still lining up 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage, but those defensive linemen for Southern, like big Jaden Carter, 6'4", 320, he's getting his paw up and then deflecting at the line of scrimmage.
So it's 3rd and 6 at the 8. Pegues looking left, looking for somebody open, and they airmailed it over the head of an open receiver. It was Jamari Johnson. He was open, but Pegues airmailed it over the top. Pegues a little slow to get back up. It's 4th down coming up now for Farrell.
Got to throw it again, and all the defensive linemen are saying, "Hey, mate, be on alert." They're bringing Braden Andrews back in on defense.
So a little confusion right now for Farrell what they want to run. They're going to bunch 3 receivers to the short side, the right side. Jules Johnson and Jamari Jones, perhaps the 2 most dangerous, split out to the left. Pegues looking that way, looking for Johnson in the back corner of the end zone. He throws it high. Johnson makes the catch. Is he in? No, he's out. Jules Johnson made the catch in the corner, but he was out of the back of the end zone when he made the catch. On down, Southern Columbia will take over.
3 Southern linemen were chasing after Pegues, and he just had to chuck that up, and he just sent it maybe an inch too far. Johnson made the catch, but he could not. You only need 1 foot in bounds in high school, but he just could not get that last foot in.
So Southern Columbia will take possession. Tigers have it with 6:25 left to go now in the fourth quarter. 1st and 10 for Southern Columbia at the 7. So if you're Farrell, you got to try to work on trying to pry the football loose somewhere here, because you need it back, and you need it back quickly, down by 3 scores.
And they have all 3 timeouts left.
Williams and Andrews split in the backfield. It'll be the fullback. Williams gets a great block from Andrews. He's across the 15-20. Straight arms his way all the way out across the 30-yard line. First down, Southern Columbia.
Heck of a stiff arm by Williams. He got another 12 yards out of it after first putting the hand up, and he had a head of steam, and there was no stopping him.
23 yards on the gain for Williams. He got a great block by his backfield mate Braden Andrews to spring him free. And then Williams did the rest from that point forward.
Southern has a magic number in their head. When the play clock reaches 10, then start getting into action. They're breaking the huddle at 14. Now it gets to 10. Now they start thinking, all right, let's run this.
From the 31-yard line, there's Andrews. Gets a block this time from Williams, still on his feet, and works his way out close to the 40. They're going to spot him down at the 39. Andrews gets 8 more on first down.
For Farrell.
You can just see the body language and the wonderment. I'm looking at the Kane brothers. He's like, what do we got to do to stop these guys? I mean, it's just like they just keep going and going. They're Energizer bunnies back there.
And if you talk to anybody who runs the wing T well, they'll talk to you that what makes it better is when the backs themselves block for each other.
Oh, yes.
The first play, Andrews blocks for Williams. That play, Andrews follows Williams through the hole and gets 8 more. Blaze Kissinger will split out on the right side. 2nd down and 2 for Southern Columbia. Give is to Andrews. Again, following his blockers. 1st down and more across the 45 and just short of midfield. Now a flag comes in at the end as Andrews is down at about the 49-yard line.
Side judge threw it.
Penalty marker on the play.
We'll see.
It was absolutely at the end of the play.
We'll see what the officials call here.
District 11 crew, and Craig Moster says it's the face mask on the tackle. So give Andrews the 1st down run and a 10-yard pickup, and then add on to the face mask on top of it. We'll give Southern Columbia yet another 1st down by way of penalty. There is the breakdown for Southern Columbia rushing with the football to this point in time. Garcia's got 108, Andrews 83, Hockenbrock, the quarterback, 71, and Williams 67. That's the balance and the beauty at the same time of the wing T in a nutshell. Line of scrimmage is now the 36-yard line. It's a 15-yard personal foul penalty on that face mask against Farrell. And maybe the knockout punch for the Steelers with 4.5 left to go here in the football game. Southern Columbia now at the Farrell 36-yard line. Lead it 36-14. Andrews and Williams, the backs in the backfield. Garcia wing on the right. It's Williams, big hole, 30, and finally tripped up. Jules Johnson on the tackle. It's preventing Williams from picking up another 1st down, but he still gets 9 on 1st down.
For Southern Columbia.
Yeah, once they got the 3rd quarter jitters out of them, Southern has just been dominant here in the 4th quarter, just like they were in the 1st half, winning the battle at the line of scrimmage and just knocking Farrell off the ball.
We told you at the beginning of this game in the pregame show that they had 2,000-yard backs in Andrews and Garcia, and Williams could join them. He needed 134 today. Well, he's not going to probably get there unless he breaks off a big run somewhere along the way, but he's still got 14 for 75. So they're very close to having 3 1,000-yard backs. And don't forget what Hockenbrock has done running the football as well. Here's Andrews getting the call, be another Southern Columbia 1st down. 18 1st downs just on the ground today for Southern Columbia. 1st and 10 at the 24.
And give him another 3 yards on the ground as well. It's always been fun when they get to the state championships, watching Southern Columbia and their run game. And it's, as far as penalties go, yeah, they may have had 1 or 2 on defense, but they had no false starts today. And you play that mistake-free kind of football, you're going to win a lot of games.
1st and 10 at the 24. Jim Roth has won his fair share. 520. The all-time winningest coach in Pennsylvania high school football is on the way to winning his 15th state championship with Southern Columbia as the Tigers continue to pound away with that ground attack. They started this drive at the 7. Braden Andrews on the carry takes it to the 19-yard line on a gain of 5 more for Southern Columbia.
Brady Garcia on that
You think
carry.
when the
Actually, that was Garcia on the carry, my mistake.
You think when the kids in the district are born, they're given a helmet and they just are taught blocking techniques right from the start?
I can't imagine they're not. I mean, it's not a big school district. That's why they've been either a single A school or now a double A school since the change to the 6 classifications. I mean, their roster has 47 kids on it. 2nd down and 5, but they grow up wanting to be Southern Columbia Tigers, and this is the reason why. Here's Williams, the fullback, fights his way. 15, 10, 5. Joey Williams will join the touchdown club. All 3 backs in the backfield have now scored a touchdown for Southern Columbia today.
That was classic Southern football. It was their worst field possession to start the drive. They started at the 7, and in 7 plays they went 93 yards. They had a little bit of help with the face mask penalty, but they ran off 24, 9, 9, 9, 3, 5, and the final 19 by Williams for the touchdown.
Maybe a little bit of a crowning moment for Joey Williams as the junior fullback who may not get that 1,000-yard mark, but he certainly gets himself in this touchdown category in this 4th quarter of this AA football championship. And a number of these players are going to be back next year for Southern Columbia. Hockenbrock, the quarterback, is a junior. Garcia is a sophomore. Williams is a junior. As the extra point attempt this time is good for Preston Shadle. With 2:01 left to play in the AA championship, Southern Columbia well on its way to another title. They lead the Farrell Steelers 43-14. We're back for the final 2 minutes after this.
The PIAA is honored to have St. Luke's University Health Network, a nationally recognized entity in sports medicine, as the official medical provider of the PIAA Championships. St. Luke's University Health Network is a top 100 major teaching hospital which provides care to athletes ranging from youth sports to professional athletes in Pennsylvania. St. Luke's Sports Medicine offers comprehensive athletic training, orthopedic care, physical therapy, and concussion management, plus sports performance training for individual athletes and teams. St. Luke's is proud to have been chosen to support the Champions of Pennsylvania as the official medical provider of the PIAA Championships.
The Pennsylvania Association of Broadcasters and the PIAA promote the highest ideals of good sportsmanship in interscholastic athletics. Always remember to respect student athletes, coaches, contest officials, and game administration to help promote a safe and positive game environment. Together, we can foster a community of good sportsmanship.
You're listening to the PIAA Football Championships on the PIAA Radio Network.
2 minutes and 1 second remaining in this AA title. The Southern Columbia Tigers 43, the Farrell Steelers 14. It's been a dominating performance. Again, the Steelers were able to shut down Southern Columbia in the first couple of series in that 3rd quarter. As Travis said a moment ago, they kind of shook loose of that, and Southern Columbia's put together back-to-back touchdown drives in a very methodical fashion, pushing the ball down the field in that last one, a 93-yard drive to kind of put this thing on ice. And they did it on 8 plays and obviously all on the ground. This time, a short kick will be taken by Damar Kane, and again going east to west, turns the upfield now at the 35 and 40, and finally run down at about the 42 or 43-yard line. Just looking at the history of this, depending on what happens in this series, and you got to figure if Farrell's going to throw the football. So from a rushing yardage perspective, Farrell comes into this game, comes into this possession minus 34 rushing yards on the afternoon. That is the 3rd lowest all-time in PIAA championship history. Number 1 on that list, and it's not a list you want to be on, was Sarah Catholic, minus 72 against Southern Columbia back in 2021. The year before, Jersey Shore had minus 66 yards rushing against Thomas Jefferson. So right now, 3rd on that list is Farrell at minus 34 yards rushing. Depending on what happens in this series, and Southern Columbia is going to call a timeout. They must not have the right personnel on the field, or maybe not enough.
Or they're giving them a curtain.
That's exactly what it is. The curtain call moment here for Southern Columbia. We're going to take a timeout with the Tigers back after this.
Fans, celebrate the holiday season with Wise Markets by checking out their amazing seasonal savings. Don't forget to redeem your points for additional free or reduced Wise quality items, all thanks to their newly improved holiday program. If you're looking to round out your holiday meal, save over $20 on select Wise quality items with their Holly Deals digital coupon program. But if you're busy with guests, why not order an entertaining platter? Wise customers can even earn 2 times the Wise reward points on.
Farrell takes the snap on 1st and 10. Here's Jules Johnson, stiffs arm his way out of a tackle, 45-50. Jules Johnson still on his feet into Southern Columbia territory. Finally brought down inside the Tiger 40 down to the 36-yard line. So that'll help that reverse that deficit on the rushing yardage as Jules Johnson gets his first big run.
No, it was a shuffle pass.
It was. You're right. It's okay. Goes that little pop pass. So we'll go as passing yardage as they flip the field into Southern Columbia territory at the 36-yard line. 2 receivers to the right for Pegues, 1 to his left. Johnson now shifts in the backfield. Same thing. Pop pass, this time going right side to left. Johnson, 30. 25, 20, drags some tacklers, driving his feet forward. Give Jules Johnson credit for still running hard inside the 15, inside the 10, and finally brought down inside the 5-yard line. Looked like he was stopped at the 15, kept driving things forward inside the 10. It'd be first down, goal to go.
Yeah, the Southern actually stripped it from him, but Farrell recovered it, but it goes back to where it was fumbled forward. So mark it at the, actually they are going to mark it at the 3.
Yeah, first down, goal to go from the 3-yard line on that little pop pass to Jules Johnson.
They got to hurry up and get 1 or 2 plays in if they want to try and score here.
Again, they'll put him in motion. Again, they're going to toss it to him. Left side to right this time, and Johnson will find a hole and will take it in for the score.
Nice curtain call for him as well. He had the toughest of days today. The only way he could really get any kind of touch for any kind of yardage was through the passing game. Caught a couple here in the second half, and for Amp Pegues to call those kind of plays and to have him wrap up his wonderful career with the Steelers with a touchdown, attaboy.
Unfortunately for him, he will not go down as the all-time leading rusher in Farrell history as a byproduct. He needed 121 yards coming into today's game, and it just wasn't there trying to run the ball. They'll go with a 2-point conversion pass, and the pass is caught. Good sliding catch made by Jamari Jones for the 2-point conversion pass, and with the score, now, with 42 seconds remaining in the football game, the score now Southern Columbia 43 and Farrell 22. We'll keep it here for the final few moments of this football game. Again, don't forget, stick around coming up for our post-game show and look forward into what's happening for the rest of the weekend. Again, tonight, the 5A championship that comes off at 7 o'clock. That will be Bishop McDevitt against Roman Catholic. Then tomorrow afternoon, the AAA matchup, the rematch from last year's overtime affair in AAA. As Avonworth will take on Northwestern Lehigh. And then 7 o'clock, tomorrow night is the 6A final with LaSalle College Prep out of the Philadelphia Catholic League taking on the WPIAL champion Pittsburgh Central Catholic Vikings.
Special thanks to Mother Nature for cooperating today.
Yeah, all in all, it was not a bad. It's very, very cold outside, obviously, yes, but no precipitation of any kind, and the wind, it's around, but it's not nearly as bad and as windy as it was yesterday, and kind of started to die down a little bit during last night's 4A game.
I think the trucks passing by on Route 11 are causing more wind than actually the wind in the stadium here. So we've been blessed with great weather. The first 10 weeks, we hardly had any issues with rain, especially here in the central and eastern part. Wind was the big story the last couple weeks of the season, and they're going to go onside kick.
And Southern Columbia will recover that onside kick. Looks like it was Anthony Martino who recovered it. And so Southern Columbia will be able to take a knee, maybe 2 at the most, and the Tigers are going to win their 15th state championship. This is their 23rd appearance in a state final, and they are about to win their 67th PIAA playoff game. Let's wrap that around your head for a moment. 67 wins just in the PIAA playoffs alone for the Southern Columbia Tigers.
And the future is now Cale Williams, a freshman. He's going to come in at quarterback and take the last couple snaps.
So he'll take the victory formation here, take a snap, take a knee, and we'll see if, in fact, they should not have to take another snap.
Nope.
And the clock will wind its way to 0. So the Farrell Steelers denied the opportunity. They beat Southern Columbia twice in the state championships back in the 1990s, and 95 and 96, back-to-back championships for Farrell over Southern Columbia. But Jim Roth gets a little bit of revenge on Amp Pegues, who was the quarterback in that 1995 team, by getting the victory today. Southern Columbia Tigers, your victors, the 2A championship. The final score will show it's Southern Columbia 43, Farrell 22. We will take a timeout, back with our postgame show on the PIAA Radio Network right after this.
Sports Fox Photography is Central Pennsylvania's home for dramatic, high-energy sports images. Booster Clubs, now's the time to book your media day and game day photo sessions for next season. See our full gallery and reserve your dates at sportsfoxphotography.com or follow at sportsfox.photography on Instagram and Facebook for the latest highlights. Capture the moments, celebrate the athletes, choose Sports Fox Photography.
What is life-changing medicine? Is it returning to the playing field or your favorite hiking path after an injury? Or running with your grandkids after a joint replacement? At UPMC, life-changing medicine is all those things. Through innovative research, rehabilitation, and advanced surgical procedures, our experts get you back to what you love doing. UPMC, changing healthcare, changing lives. Life-changing medicine.
Together, we bring more. Celebrate the milestones, big and small, in life, from your first state championship win to a family get-together. And make them more meaningful with beef. Visit beefitswhatsfordinner.com for beef recipe inspirations and more. It's interactive ice cream fun at the Turkey Hill Experience, located in Columbia, Pennsylvania. Learn how ice cream is made, invent and taste your own ice cream flavors in our taste lab. Milk our mechanical cows, star in your own commercial. Get unlimited free samples of iced tea and ice cream. Visit turkeyhillexperience.com for more information about the Turkey Hill Experience.
Welcome to our post-game show, the PIAA 2A Championship, and it goes to the Southern Columbia Tigers as teams gather around their coaches, and momentarily they will be presented with the trophies. The runner-up trophy goes to the Farrell Steelers, and the championship trophy again will go to Southern Columbia. Travis, I go back to the conversation I had with Amp Pegues before the game. He said, look, the one thing we can't do, we can't let Southern Columbia monopolize the football. We can't let them put together long drives. Then you look at the touchdown drives for Southern Columbia. 9 plays, 10 plays, 15 plays. Southern Columbia absolutely was able to do what they needed to do, and Farrell, just as good as their defense has been all season long, just could not contain Southern Columbia.
Yeah, the bulk of Southern Columbia up front just dominated, especially in the first half, and then once again in the fourth quarter. Excuse me, to put it away. Farrell's feeling bad right now, and I'm not surprised. I mean, there were some of the guys who were coming out of the line for congratulations and then just taking a knee. It's like, oh, we got this point, and it just feels tough on you to get so close to the mountaintop and not get there. Guys like Sonny Puga, who's a senior, and the rest of the seniors, they're just having a tough time doing it. But you got guys coming back like Omario Boatwright. Omario gave a hug to every single Southern representative in that line, and then coming around here, he's kind of overlooking the huddle here while Amp Pegues talks to everybody. Meanwhile here, Southern,
2025
we're getting this trophy now.
Champions, congratulations to the Tigers of Southern Columbia.
Might need an annex on that trophy case at Southern Columbia High School, because the hardware just keeps piling on. But to Travis's point, obviously Amp Pegues will have his son Aaron back at the quarterback spot. You don't replace a Jules Johnson overnight, but there are some young pieces of the puzzle. And that linebacker core is a big piece of that puzzle. Boatwright, you mentioned, is a junior. And then you look at Jason Marshall and Deontay Gillespie. Marshall a sophomore, Gillespie a freshman. And Jim Roth talked about it. He's like, I I can't believe those kids are 9th and 10th graders, just watching them on film getting ready for this football game. Well, those kids are something special. They're going to be part of Farrell Steeler football moving into 2026. Steelers aren't going anywhere. They'll be right back on the landscape on AA football in 2026 as well.
Southern happy. It seemed like it was like a business trip coming here, and now they finally get to relax and celebrate. The banners out already for them with the cheerleaders, and they're ready for their picture and getting ready to celebrate. Jim Roth congratulated all of his coaching staff. He's a real humble guy. He's not very fiery. He'll be pretty even keeled, and he made a speech to his team already. He'll make a couple more and say, hey, congratulations. Next season starts tomorrow. Let's do it again. And let's keep working hard in the longest part of the season, which is the off season. And let's get back here and win another one. Congratulations to the entire community, and the sound of fire trucks will be all around Columbia, Northumberland, and Schuylkill County as they make their way back up with another state title.
And a perfect example of what Travis is talking about with Jim Roth. He just orchestrated everybody as to where they're supposed to line up in the picture, and then he took one big giant step sideways and said, take the picture of the kids, I'll be over here. That's Jim Roth in a nutshell, and he is a champion again in 2025. The Southern Columbia Tigers win it by a final score of 43-22. Farrell finishes their season at 12-3. District 10 champions are your PIAA 2A runner-up. Southern Columbia, the District 4 champion, wins the title, their 15th in program history. They finished the season at 15-1. 43-22, our final score. We'll take one more timeout. James Dotson will wrap it up for you, set you up for the rest of the weekend as well on the PIAA Radio Network.
Pick up your champion.
Today's game is streaming live on the NFHS Network. With the NFHS Network, you can watch live and on-demand high school sports on any device, wherever you are. You can relive all the incredible moments from today's matchup on demand at nfhsnetwork.com or with the NFHS Network app for Apple and Android.
Thinking about a career in medicine? Osteopathic medicine combines a total body approach to the patient with modern science. With Ford College of Osteopathic Medicine campuses right here in Pennsylvania, your opportunities are endless. To find out more, visit poma.org. This message is brought to you by the POMA Foundation, a healthy lifestyle partner of the PIAA.
Believe it or not, at Edgar Snyder and Associates, their competition isn't other law firms. It's the insurance companies. If you've been hurt in an accident, watch out. Insurance companies will short sell you. They will deny your claim. They will do anything they can to avoid paying you. With over 40 years of experience, Edgar Snyder and Associates has seen every trick in the book. They'll fight the insurance company every day to get you the money you deserve. They're available 24/7, so contact them now at 1-800-94-EDGAR. And remember, there's never a fee unless they get money for you.
For over 100 years, Wilson has been an icon on the gridiron, delivering elite performance on more high school football fields than any other brand, as well as being the official football of the NFL and the NCAA. Where there's football, there's Wilson. Learn more at wilson.com.
If you think you can make the calls, become a PIAA official. Make some extra cash, stay in shape, and enjoy interscholastic sports, all while making a difference in your community. Head to PIAA.org for more information.
Welcome to the postgame show on the PIAA Radio Network. With a recap of the game, here's James Dotson.
Championship number 15 for Southern Columbia, and in convincing fashion, running all over the Farrell Steelers by a final score of 43-22. The negative 34 yards rushing for Farrell, the third lowest rushing total for a team in state championship history here in the state of Pennsylvania. 43-22 as we begin here on the post-game show, taking a look at some of the highlights. And again, it's the rushing success and the variety of rushers throughout the game. That's the wing T in a nutshell. But listen to these numbers. It's absolutely incredible. Grady Garcia, the leading rusher, 12 carries for 110 yards. He had 3 touchdowns. 15 carries for 95 yards for Joey Williams. He had a touchdown late in the game. And for Braden Andrews, 22 carries, 86 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Oh, by the way, the quarterback, Aiden Hockenbrock, 9 for 65 yards. No touchdowns for him, but he also threw 4 times, all completed passes as well, for 29 yards. Total yards, 380 to 168. 351 rushing yards for Southern Columbia, again to negative 34 yards on the ground for the Farrell Steelers. And Jules Johnson, only 4 carries in the game for 15 yards. He did catch 5 passes, 3 on the final drive of the game. 5 catches for 45 yards and 2 touchdowns. Southern Columbia led 28-6 at the halftime break, and a big reason for it, guy by the name of Grady Garcia. This one right before the first half came to a close. His 3rd touchdown of the first half.
They're going to give it to Garcia, and Grady Garcia is going to get his 3rd touchdown of the night. Not nearly as dramatic as the first 2, but Garcia takes it in from a yard out.
Yeah, his first 2 came from 32 and 25 yards out to make it 28-6 at the halftime break. Southern Columbia ran 30 more plays on offense than Farrell did in the first half and had 13 first downs versus just 1 first down for the Steelers in the 28-8 halftime score. To start the second half, both teams go 4 and out. Farrell then, they change it up. They go empty set. Lots of pressure on the quarterback. Aaron Pegues able to complete a couple of 4th downs. And finally, on another 4th down, they get to Jules Johnson, toe tapping in the back of the end zone.
And Pegues again under heavy rush, looking for Johnson. He's got separation. He's got a touchdown. Finally, the Steelers connect, and it's Jules Johnson backing his way in for the touchdown on the reception.
Farrell defense would then get another stop, a 3 and out, but they're not able to do anything on offense either. They lose about 20 yards in field position, and Southern Columbia right down the field punches it in again on the ground. A big 4th down catch for Blaze Kissinger. Got it down inside the 5-yard line. And then the running game able to do the rest.
Give is to Andrews. Going to kick it outside and take it home for the touchdown. Nothing off tackle, so Braden Andrews just said there's a lot more daylight that way, and he runs it in for the score.
His 2nd touchdown run of the game made it 36-14. Another quick drive that ended for Farrell. Southern Columbia gets it back, and in dramatic fashion, right down the field, convincing fashion, as they put an exclamation point on this one with one final touchdown run. The fullback getting into the action.
Motion again, they're going to toss it to him. Left side to right this time, and Johnson will find a hole and will take it in. Wanting to be Southern Columbia Tigers, and this is the reason why. Here's Williams, the fullback, fights his way. 15, 10, 5. Joey Williams will join the touchdown club. All 3 backs in the backfield have now scored a touchdown for Southern Columbia.
And how fitting, yes, all 3 backs do get a touchdown. Williams actually finishes just shy of becoming the 3rd player on Southern Columbia with 1,000 yards rushing, finishes with about 960 rushing yards on the season. Jules Johnson able to get in the end zone one final time in a Steelers uniform. 3 pop passes to him. One went for 40 yards down to the 3-yard line. He punches it in on the next play.
Put him in motion again. They're going to toss it to him. Left side to right this time, and Johnson will find a hole and will take it in for the score.
2-point conversion was good as well, made your final score 43-22. Anthony Pegues finishes with 202 yards through the air and 2 touchdowns. And just got to mention it again, he threw 1 interception all year. On the other side, Hockenbrock, 3 interceptions in the first game, no interceptions the rest of the year. These 2 quarterbacks have been solid all season long, but it's the Tigers' running game making the headlines, and the running defense as well making the headlines here at Chapman Field. 43-22, your final score. We'll be back for the 7 o'clock game, the Class 5A Championship, a rematch of last year's overtime thriller between Roman Catholic and Bishop McDevitt, as it'll be Eric Thomas and Kane Perbula on the call for that one this evening. Again, we'll be back here on the PIAA Radio Network starting at 7 o'clock, kickoff at about 7:10 here this evening. Big shout out again to everyone here at the PIAA getting us all set up and good to go. Big big thanks to both coaches, Coach Roth and Coach Pegues, for all their help with stuff as well, getting us prepared for these championship matches. 43-22, Southern Columbia, your champions here in Class 2A for the 15th time in program history. I'm James Dotson, signing off. Big thanks again for tuning in. Bob McCool, big thanks to Bob McCool, of course, and excuse me, Travis as well, for their work here for this 2A championship game. You'll hear again them tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. We'll be back for tomorrow's games, but also back here at 7 o'clock for the 5A championship here this evening. Southern Columbia 43, Farrell 22, your final score. You heard it here on the PIAA Radio Network.
Victory formation here. Take a snap, take a knee, and we'll see if, in fact, they should not have to take another snap.
Nope.
And the clock will wind its way to 0. So the Farrell Steelers denied the opportunity. They beat Southern Columbia twice in the state championships back in the 1990s, and 95 and 96, back-to-back championships for Farrell over Southern Columbia. But Jim Roth gets a little bit of revenge on Amp Pegues, who was the quarterback in that 1995 team.